announces that the holiday season is here. I guess most people count down the days until Christmas, but me, I count down the days until the shake comes out.
Hi, I'm Michaela, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A peppermint chip milkshake is that first sip, when you taste the peppermint chip pieces, it's like catching snowflakes on your tongue.
Share a peppermint chip milkshake from Chick-fil-A this holiday. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Hi, Randy here from the Race Setup. Ever hear of Built Bar? It's the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. Built is also the official partner of NASCAR, so you know it's the real deal. It's low in calories, low in sugar, high in protein. But you won't believe how good it tastes. They have all sorts of flavors like coconut almond, mint brownie, raspberry, cookies and cream, and double chocolate. My favorite. Where do you get them? At Built.com. Use code Randy10 and get 10% off your order. Randy10 for 10% off at Built.com.
'Twas the season of cheer and joy filled the town, except for Scrooge with his perma frown. The gift of a Peloton bike touched his soul without doubt.
Work, Peloton.
When your workout's a joy, it's a joy to work out.
You can do it.
The original Peloton bike is our best price ever, $39 a month. Or access membership separate. Terms apply. See website for details.
We all know that when we need service on our vehicles, having a trusted and reliable auto repair center is very important. Hi, I'm Stephen McCollum from the main event here on 1580 The Fanatic. And that's why I have all my vehicles serviced and repaired at Friendly Auto Centers in Mesa. Steve, the owner, and his team are experts in auto repair in a non-intimidating environment. Friendly Auto Center is a AAA approved auto repair center and awarded Top Shop winner. Family owned, with 19 service bays to get you back on the road fast with reliable repairs backed by an exceptional warranty. Friendly Auto Centers offer a full range of routine auto services, as well as general repairs on any make or model passenger vehicle, RVs, and large trucks. Friendly Auto Centers are located at 5026 East Main Street in Mesa. Give them a call, 480-830-9377. That's 480-830-9377. Find them online at friendlyautocenters.com. Tell them Big Steve sent you.
When it comes to NASCAR, everything comes down to time. How fast can you get it done? Built, official partner and protein bar of NASCAR, is a tasty option when you're on the move. Hi, Randy here from the Race Setup. And if you have not tried a Built Bar, you are missing out. This protein bar does not taste like a protein bar. It tastes like a candy bar. Just grab a Built Bar when you want something fast and just so delicious. If you go to Built.com to get yourself some Built Bars, use code Randy10. You'll get 10% off your order. Code Randy10 at Built.com.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K2.2 Rollins Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
For what? Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it. All right, everybody, it's Friday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. We got Keon Rose pushing the buttons, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, broadcasting live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And oh boy, do we ever have some splaining to do to Fish Tank?
How about that?
Who saw this coming? You know what I did? I went over to the Gridiron Games where we have our Harmon Solar NFL Fan Pick'em contest. I went and I looked at the results. Only out of a couple of hundred people, only 3 people actually picked the Dolphins to win. And that I'm almost wondering if it was on accident or somebody's not clear on how the app works or something. 3 people, that would be Bears 85, Swazinski 37, and Pool Maniac 6. The only 3 people who picked the Miami Dolphins. Everybody else was on the Ravens, as you should have been, as you'd expect to be. And of course, we had jokes yesterday. We were doing our picks, and we had a little fun with that. And poor Fish Tank and. It was almost like it was yesterday because it was.
Yeah.
Your cue, Keon. All right, Thursday night football is the Baltimore Ravens at the Miami Dolphins. Keon, can you give Fish Tank any hope for a W tonight? I'd love to. I'd love to say that the Dolphins have a real chance opportunity here, but we're talking about a Ravens team that just feels red hot. And here comes a guy in Lamar Jackson who's going to test every fabric of your defense, and they haven't been good. All right, Randy. So do you concur or do you give Fish Tank some hope?
Come on, man. Come on, really? I'm sorry, Fish Tank. I really like you and I appreciate what you've done. But come on, man. Dude, Baltimore's got it all day.
I'm afraid he's right. Yeah, I'd say there's a whole lot of no hope for the Miami Dolphins tonight against the Baltimore Ravens. But good luck with your new quarterback you get next year with a really high draft pick. Trying to give him something positive here, man.
Yeah, at least there's that.
Fish Tank says, we're the trap game, Keon. We're the trap game. I don't believe this, but I'm trying to scream it into existence. We're a trap game. We're a trap game.
Look, I do it all the time. You know, sometimes you just got to pump yourself up. You look yourself in the mirror with all of your gear on. We're the trap game. That's right.
We're a trap game.
We're the hunt this week.
Trap game.
We're also delusional.
That was us yesterday. And just having fun with it because nobody had any clue that was going to happen. Who knew Miami even had a defense? Where'd they come from? Was it other people wearing the uniforms of who they had last week? It was just astounding, and we should have maybe known better because, well, there's been other upsets, and in fact, underdogs of more than 7 points are 4-1. Outright last week. And so, Broncos beat the Cowboys 30-16. They were a 10-point underdog. Jaguars beat the Bills 9-6, 14.5-point underdogs. Titans beat the Rams 28-16, 7.5-point underdogs. And the Dolphins last night, they were 7.5-point underdogs and they beat the Ravens. And what the hell?
Yeah, so, I don't like this trend either, Jeffrey. I don't like this trend at all. Going into a game this week, that we should the Cardinals. I speak of the Cardinals now. That we should beat these guys into submission. I don't like this trend that's happening.
How do you think I feel? We got the Jaguars. I don't want to get embarrassed. I don't want to get beaten by Hair Boy and Urban Liar. I don't want that for myself and for my team. So, I'm a little worried now going into the weekend. I got my pick sheet, and I'm like, as you know, I'm going to have to change some things. Now it's like, am I going to second guess myself and end up causing a problem I'm trying to avoid? Down is up, up is down. I don't even know what to think anymore.
I don't know what to say, but I'm very happy for Fish Tank. I'm extremely jubilated for Fish Tank. And I don't even know if jubilated is a word. It's more like jubilant. I'm very jubilant and celebratory for Fish Tank.
I'm sure as soon as Keon is done texting, he'll join us. 888-368-1580.
Just trying to make things, make sure things are working with the gambling expert, and we're going to get him on the right side.
Says, great job, Fish Tank. Speaking of screaming and crying that into existence, props to you, Fish Tank. Yeah. And he said it. We mocked it. It became true. That's called the blender bump. I mean, it counts as a blender bump, right?
It does. Why wouldn't it? It happened on this show. The ridicule, the back and forth happened on this show. And just because we happen to be wrong doesn't mean that we didn't cause some good luck to happen.
And also understand something. We are not like any other sports talk show hosts in the Valley. First off, we're not because, we don't want to be sports talk show hosts. Why? We've seen what it does to their bodies. Anyway, I don't ever want you guys to think we won't admit when we're wrong. Other guys will never admit when they're wrong. We all the time are wrong. We'll admit it. We're just guys, just like you guys. And that's why we love having the fourth dimension on the text line. This is why we're the most interactive show in the Valley, because we value your input as well. It's a conversation. It's not a dictation. And I know there's even some other talk show hosts on this station who are like mocking us for taking so many texts. And I'm just like, well, first, because we get them. Second, because we care what you guys have to say. You guys have valuable input. Sometimes not so much. Sometimes we got to put a cap on that. But for the most part, I mean, so I never take it from an old school, sports talk show host, when they're like, he's taking all them texts. Yeah, Yeah, because that's what we do. That's what we love. So I don't take it as a dig. I take it as a badge of honor. So there you go. Fish Tank says, oh man, guys, what a fantastic opening to the show. I didn't even pick them in the gridiron games myself. And I beat,
oh boy.
Yeah, I bet the Ravens to cover the spread. I lost money. Last time we played the Ravens, they beat us 59-10. Dolphins defense of 2020 showed up all of a sudden. Ugly game, but we will take it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and there were more punts than there was scoring in the first half. I think the stat was something like 8 punts and 3 field goals or something like that in the first half of the game. Talk about a yawner. And then all the things it just kind of opened up when Tua Tagovailoa came into the ball game there in the third quarter.
Yeah, when I'm sitting there, at home when I got home, and it was like, oh well, 3-3. Well, this is exactly how we thought this was going to go for the Dolphins.
Yeah,
you never thought that the Ravens wouldn't be like, all right, let's get this done. Okay, enough playing around. And then all of a sudden that happened. But it was the Dolphins. That's all right, enough playing around. The defense is the main reason for that win right there. And then they had the Ravens on their back heels so much, the crowd was into it, which is some of them, I understand, were mute from shock. But a lot of them were very happy and into the game. And they just had that momentum, and there was no looking back. There was no chance for the Ravens. And even at the end there, it's just almost like they're playing for pride. You know what I mean? They're just like trying to get the score closer so it wasn't so damned embarrassing for them. But and it's like, hey, little something for you, Lamar Jackson. We know you're Lamar Jackson. Everything Keon said about you yesterday, absolutely true. He plays great when he's ahead. He plays great when he's behind. Well, that whole plays great when he's behind thing didn't kick in until it was too late. He was all, he was starting to look a lot better, but then, the clock beat the Ravens more than the Miami Dolphins did.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't outplay the clock. The game clock always wins, isn't it? It's kind of like Father Time. Father Time will always get you. It's always going to catch you.
Yeah. Undefeated. But, that said, maybe I'm not giving Miami enough credit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that statement is not fair.
Because that defense was incredible. And if you hold Lamar Jackson in check for 3 quarters and most of a fourth, you've done a fantastic job if you stop him from getting his in a game. And do you know why we thought the Dolphins were going to be good this year? It was the defense last year.
Yeah.
The defense was phenomenal. And we just thought if Tua was even average, this was going to be a good football team. And that just didn't happen this year. That defense never showed up. That's the defense we thought we were going to be looking at all year long.
Let me warn everybody. Tua is not suddenly out of nowhere good. Okay. That was a momentum situation. He was adequate when he needed to be. Do not rush out there and try to pick him up on the waiver wire because, he's back. He's great. He's going to be good. No. Just temper your expectations. Do what you want. I'm not going to tell you not to pick him up, but temper your expectations on what that's going to look like next week and the week after. It was sad to see Jacoby Brissett go down with that knee injury that way. And they were so lucky that Tua was, still a little bit sore, but ready to go. And then it was bizarre. It was bizarre how that whole thing just turned in the direction of the Dolphins. So here's the big question, guys. Will the Dolphins be this way next week, or will the Dolphins revert back to what they've been all season?
I think that's impossible to know. This NFL season is so wacky and weird. From week to week, are the Jags going to continue to play defense like they did against the Bills? I just don't even know sometimes which way is up in the NFL right now, as my picks from the last couple of weeks will show you.
Yeah. I was just stunned about, can I just tell you what the lead story today was going to be? I was going to ask, has anybody done a wellness check on that Peloton girl? Because it's been a year now and I've been worried about her ever since. And then, of course, over the summer, you didn't hear about her. You heard about those things falling over on kids. And then now here we are again in Peloton season. You hear the ads. I was just, I hope that girl's okay. Sure hope so. Daylight Drew, we're going to get to that in a second. I mean, one disappointment at a time, please. So there you go. The Dolphin. But here's one nice thing that I was so glad I was watching live when this happened. That giant lineman who ended up with the ball in his hands and did I've never seen a guy this big flip over period, ever. He went just crazy. And if he had been eligible, that's a touchdown right there. That would have been a touchdown. And yeah, his name is Robert Hunt. And Tua just trying to get rid of the ball is through the screen pass, and he caught it, and he was not an eligible receiver. So there was a penalty and there was no touchdown. But that was awesome to see, though, wasn't it?
It was awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime you see a big fella, going airborne a little bit, because like we forget sometimes these guys are incredibly athletic too. We just think of them as, big plodding dinosaurs out there on the field. But no, these guys are capable of being athletic, getting over the top of people. That was fun.
This is the kind of game, Jeffrey, that could really do something for the Dolphins. It could drive some momentum into this team, and they could go out. Their next few games, listen to who they're playing the next few games. Sunday the 21st, they take on the Jets in New York. Then they're back home to take on the Carolina Panthers on the 28th. December 5th, they play the Giants in Miami. Then they play the Jets again on December 19th. I mean, the damn Dolphins could be on a roll here.
No, it'll be win, loss, win.
You think they're going to lose against the Giants?
Yeah.
I think the Giants are as bad as the Jets.
I don't think.
I would
by
give them,
that point. No, I think they're going to revert back to what they were, and as bad as the Giants are, they will beat the Jets.
I'd give them
the Dolphins.
three out of the next four, with maybe taking a loss to the Panthers, maybe because I think the Panthers are a little better team than the Dolphins are right now.
When we have a super cool texter like Fish Tank, who is a diehard Dolphins fan, and also my wife, back when she was a child, was a Dolphins fan. It was assigned to her by her brothers because they're like, you can be a Dolphin fan because they have pretty colors. And she's like, okay, because she's like 4. And then later on in life, she became a Cardinals fan. But so I don't want to be mean to the Dolphins. Would love to see Tua do great. Would love to see the Dolphins crawl out of that basement they've been in for God knows how long. I don't feel good about this, but facts are facts. The team has played horribly this year. And, you can't tell if they've really turned it around, even if they do well over the next 4 games. Until you meet up at a good team, you don't know what you got, and all you can go is by what you've seen before against good teams. Losses.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I think that's fair, but they've won 2 in a row, and that's the reason why I don't want to go out on the record and say I know that they can turn it around. I'd like you. I would love to see that. I'd love to see it for Fish Tank because he's been so awesome, and as another fan of another beaten up franchise, I'd like to see all the beaten up franchises kind of turn it around a little bit. But there was a point in this season where this team lost 7 games in a row. And so I have to see a little bit more than we beat the Texans and we got the best of the Ravens. I got to see a little bit more before I go, yeah, this could be the kickstart that the Dolphins need to make a playoff push or something like that.
All I'm saying is 2 times in the next 4 games, they play the New York Jets.
That helps. That does help.
Maybe 2 W's. Here's the thing, Randy. I'm going to tell you what I just realized. This is how you know Keon is really a good guy. Because
a
lot of guys will see another team and be like, yeah, now you know how I feel. And that Schadenfreude kick in, and they just like, yes, feel the hate, Fish Tank. Let it run through you. Yeah, but no, he's like, hey, I got you, Fish Tank. We can commiserate on how bad our teams are. So that's how you know Keon is a good guy.
Who else knows exactly what I feel other than Fish Tank?
Yeah.
Me a little bit right now.
Yeah. If your team,
but I'm not like you, Keon.
Well, no, because you've witnessed your team win a Super Bowl.
Well, that's not what I mean.
In your face. I mean, so definitely. I'm just saying that is the most obvious way that you're not like me. But
No, I'm not talking about the fact that the Colts have won a Super Bowl and have had a pretty good team for a bunch of years in a row. More that I'm talking about how I'm different than when my team is doing bad. I enjoy other people's teams doing bad, especially in the AFC. The AFC South. If you're a Titans fan, a Jaguars fan, a Texans fan, I enjoy your demise. And you get no sympathy out of me. There is no foxhole for me in the AFC South. But Keon's been beaten down so hard and so long in the NFC North, right? That you're just
the NFC least.
Yeah, East. You're right. The NFC least, NFC North. That's redundant. And that you're just like, they're all shell shocked, and they're like, You too? Yeah, me too, man. Oh God.
I mean, look, I do enjoy it when the Eagles suffer and when the Giants suffer. And unfortunately, the Cowboys are good, so I can't really say anything there. But yeah, no love there. But with other teams in the league, like I'm glad that the Browns can make the playoffs or at least look like they can make the playoffs. I'm happy for it because like I know what it's like to have a bad owner run your team into the ground for several decades, and you just you're not going anywhere. And I see other teams get out of that pit. Good for you guys.
Because it's hope for you.
A little bit, I guess, yeah. But mostly, I think as few people suffering this particular hell as possible is good.
Hefty Lefty says, don't forget, Boogie understands the pain. Oh, that's right. The Lions fan.
Yeah.
You notice how quiet he's been lately? I feel so bad for him. Fish Tank says, yep, Dolphins play the Jets next week. 10 days rest seems like a good game to keep that defense hot. Yeah. Daylight Drew, we are going to get to that, and we're upset about that too. King Kittens is like, what the hell's going on? I turned on the thing and I heard the V's show. What's it? And now it's like, oh my God, now I'm listening to yesterday's show. Okay, King Kittens, calm down. First off, sometimes the app will lag a little bit in time. And the other thing is the V's show was right before us, so then you're just hearing a little bit of a delay. And the yesterday's show stuff was us doing a flashback. And I'm sorry, we don't usually do flashbacks. So he says, I don't know, maybe my app was paused. It's fixed now. Sorry. Yeah, just chill, take a breath. Everything is fine. We're all here. Big George says, happy gentlemen. Hello, Friday. Okay, hello, gentlemen. Happy Friday. Great win yesterday for the Dolphins against those dirty birds from Baltimore. Couldn't believe Baltimore won with Mike Gesicki being targeted 7 times. I think he means Dolphins, and getting 0 catches. What the hell? Yeah, it was not the Ravens you're used to seeing, and it was not the Dolphins you're used to seeing. Boomer Sooner says, good Friday, gentlemen. Beautiful day in the Valley of the Sun. Pretty interesting fact today. Jeffrey, number 84 on the Atlanta Falcons, Cordell Patterson, I believe his name is. I have him on my fantasy. I do too. He says he's played 3 positions at the pro level. Asked why he plays 3 positions, because his mom worked 3 jobs while he was growing up. So he felt, hey, I should be able to play 3 positions. They say he could get 25 points in fantasy this weekend. Your lips to God's ears, Boomer Sooner, because I also have Cordell Patterson, and I'm playing the moist one, so I can't lose to the moist one.
Please don't.
Just can't. Anyway, so good for you, Boomer Sooner, and here's hoping, right? Hefty Lefty says, in regards to last night's game, I would pin that loss on the offensive coordinator. Much of the second half, the Dolphins had 7 or 8 guys in the box at the line of scrimmage while the defensive backs were playing at least 10 yards off the receivers. Blows my mind that all teams don't have a quick check to a wide receiver bubble screen. Defense is handing you 6 yards at minimum on first or second down. First couple of times it's on the quarterback, but after that, it's the coordinator's job to notify the quarterback of that or just call the play for him. I had no rooting interest for anyone in that game, but was racking my brain trying to figure out why they don't just take the yards. And it's not just the Ravens. I see this every Sunday. Hefty Lefty rant over.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's spot on. I mean, if they're going to pack the box like that, why not have a quick check out to some sort of a bubble screen? You're going to take the yardage. Yeah, it just kind of boggles the mind. Sometimes I think it's kind of like in baseball when the opposing manager puts a shift on a specific hitter and leaves almost half of the field wide open, and yet that hitter will still hit into the shift. Boggles my mind. I think ego has a lot to do with it. I think sometimes people think that, oh, my team's better than yours, and we'll just we'll go ahead and we'll defeat you anyway. So it doesn't make any sense. You got to humble sometimes and take what they're giving you.
And the Ravens are that kind of like meat and potatoes team.
Yeah.
The way they line up and they feel like every snap, our big guys are going to beat your big guys, and we're going to run over you. Put as many people in the box as you want. You're not going to stop us. And that does act against them a lot of times too.
Daylight Drew says, UC Riverside Highlanders?
Yeah.
What the bleep?
Yeah.
Somebody pour me a Maker's Mark, please. And yes, Daylight Drew, we'll do that. And we were upset too. And we'll talk about that upset when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. SimpleGreen.com.
College football, Arizona at home against Utah tomorrow. The Wildcats looking for their second straight win. They are a 24.5-point underdog, the over-under 54. Elsewhere, Arizona State on the road facing Washington. The Sun Devils a 6-point road favorite, the over-under 45.5. NFL Sunday afternoon, the Cardinals at home against the Panthers. Arizona a 10.5-point home favorite, the over-under 44. Cardinals are 8-1, 7-2 against the spread. NBA tonight, the Phoenix Suns traveling to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. Phoenix a 1.5-point road underdog, the over-under 220.5. For vsin.com, I'm Trey Westerberg on Arizona's sports betting station.
Hi, my name is Ted, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A peppermint chip shake is when the peppermint shake is available, that's to me sort of announces that the holiday season is here. I guess most people count down the days until Christmas, but me, I count down the days until the shake comes out.
Hi, I'm Michaela, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A peppermint chip milkshake is that first sip when you taste the peppermint chip pieces, it's like catching snowflakes on your tongue.
Share a peppermint chip milkshake from Chick-fil-A this holiday. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Business people like it honest and to the point. So here it is. Take control of your utility expenses by calling Harmon Solar right now. They can save you up to 80% on that monthly electric bill. Level your energy costs and protect yourself from inflation. There, Bruce Jacobs telling you straight and to the point. Here's more. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar at 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go online to harmonsolar.com.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. Now, we've seen interest rates go as low as we've seen them in years recently. We've also seen them bouncing around. A lot of uncertainty of what is going on in the loan game as far as mortgages are concerned. That's why I lean on my friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. They have been in business for 20 plus years here in the Valley. They only lend in Arizona. They are trusted. They'll get you that reliable quote. And if you're thinking about refinancing, whether it's to just lower your rate, maybe lower the terms of your rate, maybe down to 15 or 20 years, or if you're like, hey, we got a lot of debt on the side, we got some problems going on, we want to consolidate debt, or I've always wanted a pool. Now's the time to do it. Take some of that equity out, refinance, and get things done around your house that you want. But you got to use the best in the business. That's the Lund Mortgage Team. 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or check them out online, lundmortgage.com.
Hey guys, it's Stephen McCollum from the main event here on 1580 The Fanatic. Coming up on Monday at 1 p.m., let's look back at ASU at Washington. Was the road good for the Sun Devils? Cardinals are nursing injuries. Let's look back and see who played, and are the Cardinals 9-1. We'll look around the league and get updates on injuries and how many taunting calls affected games again. Suns, Coyotes, and more. So join me, Stephen McCollum, on the main event, Monday, 1 p.m. on 1580, 99.3 FM, The Fanatic.
Providing you with the latest sports news, commentary, and analysis.
So I am holding out, much to the chagrin of my dad. Don't be greedy. My agent said, so here's the deal. We're all right with the signing bonus. We'll get a little more there. But what we're fighting for is the third year and $20,000 on the third year.
What did your father say?
When it was all said and done, good job.
Jacobs and Helly on Arizona's new home for sports. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, Arizona sports betting station. And tonight we say adieu for now to the race setup with Randy White. He's going to put the car in the garage for the winter and bring it back out in the spring. Tonight at 5:45, not at 6 o'clock, at 5:45, you'll have the race set up. And we'll close out the year with that broadcast. And why are we doing that? Because at 6:45, you got GCU hosting North Florida State. So to accommodate that, everything got shifted back, and we get 20 minutes off. All right.
Well, hey, all right.
Yes, that's the only thing keep me smiling right now after watching what happened with ASU last night.
Boy, that was a dagger, wasn't it?
help me? Because, yes, I get it. This JP Mormon II, which, by the way, it sounds like a banker, but he made a 3-quarter shot. And I say 3-quarter, wasn't the 3rd quarter. It was 3/4 the way down the court. It wasn't half court. It was 3/4 down the court. He just chucks up a hope and a prayer, and God liked UC Riverside Highlanders more than he liked ASU. And that was the end of that. And so it ended up being 66-65. You know, that's just one of those things. And I guess you could go and say, listen, Bobby Hurley, and hey, ASU, don't let them ever be that close again, especially a team that's UC Riverside Highlanders.
Well,
should have never been that close.
My question is, why are they still in the game? What are we doing that we've allowed this team to stay in the game? Isn't it supposed to be like the second game of the season? This is not supposed to be an opponent that can come in and beat you. So what's Bobby Hurley got to do? He's got to work out some issues here on the defensive side of the basketball, and he's got to figure out a way to wake that offense up. What they are doing in the game that late in the game, it kind of boggles my mind. But hey, what do I know?
Also, you know, the game was close through most of the game. In fact, UC Riverside a couple of different times had the lead, and that's
what I
mind-boggling.
mean. Yeah.
So, hey, all right, Keon, is UC Riverside Highlanders better than everyone thought, or is this just a big giant turd of a game by ASU?
It was a big giant turn of a game by ASU. That perimeter defense needs help. It does need help. I mean, they were able to, and I mean UC Riverside, they were able to shoot threes whenever they wanted to, and they're very good 3-point shooters. Flynn Cameron, 6 of 8 from 3. At some point, you just have to get close to that guy and make it uncomfortable for him to take those shots. And the banker JP Mormon, the second, he was taking a lot of threes too and making them. So anytime you have a team that's shooting that well from 3, they're going to be in games. And part of that is your perimeter defense. You have to be out there making life difficult for those shooters, because once they get comfortable, you can't stop them. And that was what happened.
Well, I guess we're going to find out if this is a learning experience for the Sun Devils. Is this the state of the defense for the Sun Devils? Is this just one bad game for the Sun Devils? Or is this the way the entire season is going to look for the Sun Devils? And just like we said before with the other thing, there's no way to know yet, is there?
Not yet. And we're just gonna, we kind of had to do this with the Suns a little bit, where they had that first game, and you go, do we hit the panic button yet, or do we take a step back and look at this? But a college basketball season is much shorter than NBA season, so you don't have the same luxury of 20 games to try and get it right, because at that point it's time for conference tournament, season's over. So you've got about 5 to 10 games here to really figure out those issues and start to iron that out, so that you can be right getting to tournament time.
Yeah.
Boomer Sooner says, Jeffrey, I asked the mighty 8-Ball if Cordell Patterson will get 25 points this fantasy football weekend. It said yes, resounding yes. Okay, that's great, Boomer Sooner. And time and place, man. We're upset about ASU right now. In fact, I'm kind of hesitant to go look at Big George's text that he's put on the text line, because I'm sure it's going to be like, discredit ASU as a school, because he always just goes the extra step on overreacting.
We're going to start questioning Bobby Hurley's job security if we listen to Big George.
Well, and not only that, I was just going to say, Big George's text, sometimes when he gets upset, it's like on the ledge of a high building, he's ready to jump. I mean, you've got to temper some of this stuff. Big George, sometimes he'll send you right over the edge if you're not careful. And I love Big George, I do. But boy, can he get right out there on the edge, man, right on the edge.
Yeah, but George doesn't stand on the edge himself. He just picks people up over his head and throws them off at the ledge. Wing Guru says UC Riverside is not exactly a pushover, but the game should not have been that close. But hey, Sun Devil basketball is overrated, and Hurley's going to be gone.
Well,
Wing Guru at 2, Wing Guru. I thought you were a Sun Devil fan. Maybe I've misread you. Wing Guru is one of the oldest texters here in Phoenix. When we started this thing back up after I came here home from Southern California, I've never known what Wing Guru's college affiliation was. You want to fill us in on that, Wing Guru? I'm just kind of curious. Oh, there's Big George says, oh boy, have I been boiling since last night over that loss to UC Riverside. We know you've been.
Yeah.
I don't understand how Ray Anderson still has a job. there's one firing. When the football team stinks, bringing in other sports, even though he's promised a top 15 program every year when he was hired 8 years ago. But the basketball team stinks too. You can't lose to UC Riverside and keep your job. Fire Hurley.
Wait,
fire Herm Edwards.
Hold on.
Fire Ray Anderson. Fire Michael Crow.
Wait, we called for how many jobs was that, Randy?
I think we're at 6 or 5 or
jobs.
6. What
Six
is it?
jobs.
I lost count in that flurry there. I think it's 5 or 6 jobs.
I told you this was going to happen, but yeah, we all feel that. But let's pump the brakes. Let's just see what happens over the next couple of games.
And you can lose to UC Riverside. Look, I understand that it stinks, but upsets do happen in college basketball. You can rebound from those and turn your season around. It's okay, but there's plenty of time.
Tiger Paws says, didn't one of the Blender faithful yesterday predict his loss by Baltimore, saying that the record for teams that played an overtime game prior to Thursday night game record is 4-20? Might have been Josh Applebaum, was it? Or was it was either him or a super fan. You're right, Tiger Paws. And because she's a woman, she remembers everything that was said the day before and 6 months before, and will use it against you later.
Quite possibly. Yeah.
It's a fact. I'm not even saying that as a dig. It's impressive. I wish I had that kind of recall. Wing Guru says, Jeffrey, my man, I'm an East Coast product. I went to St. John's and spent some time in your favorite city, Tucson. Oh, brother. So you're a wild chalupa fan? Is that what you are? Or you're just sort of
say it's not so, Wing. Say it's not so, Wing Guru.
Well, thank God you got out of that godforsaken town. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Papa Mike says, wow, Jeffrey, that was almost convincing when you said about Boogie. I feel so bad for him. It's comical coming from you. I don't know where this idea is that I hate Boogie. I love Boogie. Boogie and I are buds. We're pals. We share custody of a kangaroo. It's a long story, Keon. I don't know if we've told you that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was about to ask. I had questions.
His name is Schrock, and he's awesome, and he's the best pet that I've ever shared custody of. Anyway, I like Boogie. Boogie, it's just when we play fantasy football against each other, or if we have a bet against each other, it gets ugly, as it does with pals. But no, outside of that, Boogie and I are good as far as I know, and so I like Boogie very, very much. He's a good guy, seriously, a good guy. So I feel bad about his Detroit Lions. I don't know what's happening in the lower levels of the Daily Blender fantasy football leagues. And, maybe we'll see him back in the Premier League again someday. And I've never beat him in fantasy football. In fact, that's the name of his team. And I'm not even mad about it because it's true. I like Boogie. Boogie's good people. Yeah, actually, no, that bothers me a little bit.
I was like that.
Now that I've said it out loud, you know what? Screw Boogie.
I was about to say you're a bigger man than me.
Here's Boogie.
There we go.
Good Cat says, "What's up, gentlemen?" In the fourth dimension, gas prices getting so high, it's rivaling Cheech and Chong right now.
Yeah,
I heard somebody say it's cheaper just to buy some cocaine, do it, and then run to work. I don't suggest that. That's a good way to get bed. Happy Lefty says it's time to hire the Fox from the field in place of Hurley. I mean, that'd be cute. There's a fox sitting there looking, why am I even here? What's all that squeaking? I want it to happen to me. Don't think they're going to hire the Fox to coach the basketball team.
No.
Who does ASU play next? I don't have my screen up for that. Who they play next? And tell me good things about that matchup, please. Make me feel happy and confident about the next game that ASU plays.
Well, I feel pretty good about it. They are playing North Florida. So there's another, team. They're a smaller school. You're trying to put these games on your schedule early for the sole purpose of building momentum and or ironing out some kinks, depending on which direction you're going. And apparently we're in the direction of we're going to iron out some stuff and fix it. But North Florida, I feel good about ASU in that ball game.
All right. Which we should have felt good about this last game too.
Yeah,
so I guess we'll all still be on pins and needles. But thank you for at least some encouragement on that. Yesterday, one of the things we were talking about is with the text line. Sometimes I can't read every single text, and sometimes when I do read text off the text line, people will pick up on something and think I'm saying that. Kind of like, I don't know, the comedian Colin Quinn, he does this bit. He says, it's really bad when you're on the street and you're talking to somebody, but all of a sudden you're an actor in their story. And he says, and I tell the guy, you don't touch an 8-year-old boy. And he's pointing at Colin Quinn. He's like, whoa, it's not me he's talking about. So that sometimes happens when I read stuff off the text line that other people say, then people say I'm saying it. And, it's not been a big deal. It hasn't been a lot of misunderstandings, but I can understand what Jim Rome has stepped in. Jim Rome, the other day, I guess CBS TV preempted him for swimming. And he didn't care, but
Preempted him for swimming?
Yeah. And he didn't care, but he's reading, I don't know if it was a tweet or an email. That's how he does stuff on his show. And he says, you idiots are going to preempt this show for swimming? Stupid. And now what happened, what he was reading what somebody said, but all the networks picked it up that he said that about CBS to make it seem like he was chirping at CBS, biting the hand that feeds him.
Yeah.
When in reality, what they didn't say is that he said, what I really can't control is what the CBS network does during the hours. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I don't. They have other properties. They have other things in addition to the Jim Rome show. So he was just like, say, I got no problem. He was answering the person's email or tweet.
Yeah.
With that had said the other thing, but all the networks, all the news agencies said Jim Rome says CBS is idiots. Just saying, I understand that.
Yeah, I can see that. That's a little bit of miscommunication there, because I can understand a fan listening and not wanting to hear that show preempted for swimming, but for him he gets some extra time off, he
doesn't. He still has to do the radio show. He just doesn't get to be.
Doesn't get to be on TV. Okay.
Yeah.
We on the Daily Blender love being preempted. We get paid either way.
That's what gets us up in the morning, Keon, is being preempted.
Yeah, just a good preemption.
No ego about these things. There is zero ego at work.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not on today? Oh, darn.
The
Women's
best
softball? Excellent.
Best time of the year for us, March Madness.
That's right. Ooh, hey, we're getting closer. We're getting closer to it. Very excited. Very excited. Anyway, I just thought that I would mention that. So part of it is, if I don't read all your texts, it's not intentional. Sometimes a few get by me, and I have good intentions, or you're a jackass and I just don't feel like reading what you have to say. That's also a possibility. But yeah, we're doing the best we can. High volume of texts come through, and we're doing the best we can. And sometimes I'll see down and there's a text that's not relevant to the conversation anymore. It's so far past, I feel bad, but it just doesn't make sense to read it. So just know, eventually every single text gets read. Sometimes I'm very sad that I've missed some of your cleverness, but it's just the way it is on this show. And as it gets bigger and the audience gets better and larger and whatever, it's going to get harder. So please forgive me. We might have to have a disclaimer promo that runs during the show at various times going forward, so that people understand it's nothing personal. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, I got some women's in sports to talk about. Some crazy stuff going on. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
When it comes to automotive repairs, where do you start? Been looking for a new home? Should you rent or buy? If you're looking for the latest trends in the automotive industry or real estate, look no further than the Drive Friendly Radio Show. Hosted by Steve, with over 40 years in the automotive industry, and Felicia, who's well established in the real estate market, you can get great advice and insight you can trust. You'll be smarter for listening, and maybe you'll have a little fun too. The Drive Friendly Radio Show, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
One of the most common questions people ask is if they can still afford to retire on $1 million or $2 million anymore. With stocks near all-time highs and bonds at all-time lows, it's actually a great question. 2008 taught millions of retiring engineers, teachers, and other professionals a costly lesson that years of market gains can be wiped out in just weeks of market losses. Not a problem if you're 30 years old with a few decades to make it back, but not if you are in retirement or almost there. I like to follow the 30, 50, 70 rule. The closer you are to 50 or 70, then at least 30 to 50% of your money should be kept safe at all times, like in an uncapped, principal secure, next generation annuity. Come and see why.
Call leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now at 480-902-3333. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with Steve. Call 480-902-3333 and visit iqannuity.com.
Uncertain times can lead to fearful investing, which could leave you in a bad spot, especially if you're trading on emotion. When tumult opens and closes the market, you need sound advice.
Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, host of Market Wrap and president of Compact Asset Management. If fear has you in its grips, it's time to take a look at your investments. At Compact Asset Management, we specialize in providing complete wealth management solutions to help you reach your financial goals, no matter where the market goes. Dial pound 250 on your cell phone and say talk to Mo for a free portfolio review. We will also discuss how we can work together to create your customized retirement plan. Call pound 250 on the cell phone and say talk to Mo, and let us help you take the fear out of your portfolio. Again, call pound 250 on the cell phone and say talk to Mo.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services member, FINRA SIPC.
AZ Preps 365 is your headquarters for all things high school sports in Arizona. Brett Quintine, James Mello, and Jose Garcia keep you up to speed with all the action, highlights, interviews, and insider information for the prep sports scene. You need to tune in to AZ Preps 365 every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your new home for sports, 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic. And always on at 1580thefanatic.com. Some people can't handle sports around the clock. If they only knew what they were missing. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, Arizona sports betting station, and your sports betting education will continue in the next hour. Josh Applebaum will be with us, and we got some questions. We have some questions about sports betting because I'm a novice, and there's certain things that are happening in the world that affect betting, and he better be ready because we got tons of questions for him this week. And if you guys got questions, join on in 888-368-1580. Now, before we get back to the text line and other things, I just want to say something. Randy, don't take this the wrong way. But, you're a little bit older than me, and you've seen a little bit more than I have.
Quite a bit older, yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, not quite a bit, just a few years. Well, I don't know, we didn't talk about it on the air, but I've been looking for a project car to work on. An old muscle car that I can put in the garage, and, get my hands dirty and fix up, make roar, and then maybe do some body work, a little paint, whatever. And I used to do that back when I was much younger. I would buy a car and I'd fix it up and then I'd turn around and sell it. Not as cool or well equipped that those guys are like Rust Brothers or whatever show you might watch. Where
Monster Garage and things like that. Yeah.
Not even close. But, I just had some fun with it and I made some money off it. But for this right now, it's just something to play with, a hobby, like a car like that. And as I've been looking, I've realized, holy God, the price of old muscle cars has gone crazy. Beat up ones you'd find in a barn are $50,000 because there's just a high demand all of a sudden. So I feel like I've really missed out on getting a good quality one. But as I'm going through and I'm scanning, I'm like, I'm going to find one. There's something that's disturbing that only you can speak to that I've seen.
Oh boy. Okay.
Well, I found an old Challenger.
Yeah.
And I've also found an old Corvette that had a camper on them. What the hell were they doing back in the 70s?
Well,
you see that? That's a Corvette. Somebody put a camper thing. Now it looks like they've done a lot of body work and it's painted the same color as the car. And it's like that didn't come from the factory that way, did it?
No, I don't believe so. No.
So what was going on in the 70s? Everybody wanted a camper on a sports car, a muscle car. Does that makes no sense?
Well, back in the 70s, people were dropping a lot of acid, and that's the result right there. You get these guys.
That's it.
Get a lot of acid in the 60s, and when they were teenagers, and when they got older, they had the money. You know what, dude? I'm gonna get me a Corvette, turn it into a camper, man. Right on. And that's ultimately what happened.
That's a better story. In my head, I thought, wow, panties dropped so fast. You just had it right there. Once they got in the Vet or the Challenger. But
no,
I
submit to you the El Camino. And now there are people that love the El Camino. That's half sedan, half truck. But yeah, no, that was never
I'm not
anything
one
for
of them.
me. No.
No.
So that's the kind of stuff. I think like stuff like that happened. I seriously believe because in the 60s, these guys did a lot of acid. That can only be the only reason. Yeah.
Here's a car guy question for you. That maybe you have the answer to, and if not, maybe somebody on the text line. And
Right.
don't worry, we're not just going to talk cars. This is just a moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
The El Camino, is that effectively a Chevelle with the back ripped off of it? What's the platform for the El Camino?
Is it a Chevelle? Maybe. Yeah. I think they took a Chevelle and they morphed it into a truck. Now, why? It doesn't make sense to me.
Hear me out. So
All right.
couldn't I go take a lesser expensive El Camino, which is basically a Chevelle, get that, and do the same thing in reverse? Take an El Camino, turn it back into a Chevelle.
Well, you'd have to get the Chevelle body and take that El Camino body apart because it was all that body for that El Camino was all kind of one thing.
Or hear me out. I get a 3D printer and I just
okay,
make it look like that.
Okay.
I'm just having ideas here. So anyways, I just wanted to ask you about that since you were probably out driving around and saw some of these monstrosities.
Yeah, I don't know why
day.
somebody would take a Corvette, a perfectly good Corvette. You know, in other words, unless they were thinking, look, dude, I'm driving a Corvette. I could save time and money. And when the ladies get in the Corvette and they get all turned on, whammo, I got my bed with me. See what I'm saying?
It was the 70s.
Yeah.
It was the 70s.
I still think it was a product of a lot of acid dropping.
Or I paid so much for this car, now I have to live in it. Could be that. Don't know.
Yeah.
All right, back to the text line, and then we're on to the next thing. Good Cat says of gas prices, if gas prices get to the Willie Nelson level, I'm buying my happy ass a Vespa. Screw what I look like on that thing.
Well, I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Sorry, the Willie Nelson.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's high. That is so high.
Yeah.
Papa Mike says, there you go. That's the Jeffrey I know. Step on Boogie's throat when he's down, even if he's a good friend. You better watch yourself, Keon. I don't know what you're talking about. I've said nothing but good things about Boogie.
Yeah.
Big George says, the worst part is we paid UC Riverside to come here and play Tempe. And then they beat us. Wow. I guess that's gratitude for you. Wing Guru says, if the blender gets preempted for swimming, I'm sure you guys will be happy, but the super fans are going to take Radio Ron out to the woodshed.
Well,
good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see you try. This is not a man to be trifled with, people. Hefty Lefty says, this is not me wishing ill on you guys, but if I'm being selfish and I'm honest, I hope there's another pandemic, not lethal, but another pandemic that knocks out March Madness, so I don't have to lose another week and a half of the blender.
Oh, boy.
Unless instead of broadcast, we can just have a remote watch party and the blender crew's out there. We just don't be on the radio. See, Hefty Lefty has contingencies for everything.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Hefty Lefty, but sometimes we need a moment. That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't have a problem with watch parties. I wouldn't have a good because we're not on the air, and we could have libations and bar food and lots of fun. Yeah, I would have no problem with that.
All right, so here's what we have. Hefty Lefty says the second generation El Camino is based off the Chevelle. The first was made in the 50s. That was based off of old small truck chassis. So if I get a 1970 El Camino, that's essentially the motor, the fun, the guts of a Chevelle. That's what I wanted to know, and you've answered that question. Thank you, sir. Sean from Phoenix says, my first car was a 1985 Chevy El Camino SS. My then girlfriend and I made pretty good use out of that back. So, okay, that's it.
Bet you did.
He says, yes, the El Camino was multi-purpose. Wink, wink. All right.
All right.
Hefty Lefty. Yes, thank you for that. Rusty Nut says El Camino, essentially, that's just a fold-out bed. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Ukulamak, when did I call you a jackass? He says, so first you killed my dog, now you call me a jackass. You're really starting to strain on our relationship, Radio Pal.
Wow.
I never called him a jackass directly, but I will now, you jackass. Good Cat says, Sons of Apathy will come after us if we try to harm Radio Ron. That's right. You're
That's
gonna have
true.
a lot of really pissed off guys and assless chaps on electric bikes coming to take you down. You don't want that. You don't want
No.
none of that smoke. Generally, the smoke is coming from their little electric batteries burning,
Yeah,
but still,
yeah.
you don't want none of that smoke.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
true.
working. I don't think the threats are working. So, all right, I promised you some lady athletes gone crazy, and that's what we've got. I'm sure the story. I had this the other day. We just didn't get around to it. Now it's starting to hit the main wires. You might have heard the soccer player. I think it's in France or Germany or I don't know where the hell it is. But somebody didn't watch enough American TV to learn how this whole story goes.
Okay.
And the story is this gal. She's a soccer player, and so she's a backup to a star. Now the star gets hurt, so then she steps up. She has an amazing season. And then the star comes back and she's back to her backup role. And that did not sit well with her. So she basically, Tanya Harding, Jeff Gillooly, Nancy Kerrigan her.
Oh, no. No,
Yep.
no.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, this was like they pulled over her car, took her out, and they just beat her. This wasn't in the hallways of the Olympics or wherever you do things in soccer. This was out in public, and luckily, she got her crap beat out of her, but she wasn't really harmed. She wasn't really hurt by any of that. And so there's been an investigation, and these two are supposed to be good friends, but the other one did not watch any Lifetime channel, did not watch any movies from America where you see how this whole thing goes down.
Yeah.
And she was arrested, released 35 hours later, and they're still doing more investigations on that. And I was just thinking, she had not seen the movies. She didn't know. So this was a purely original idea for this woman to get somebody to take out her rival so she could be the star. That's exactly what happened with Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding. And all I can think is, that's really a woman thing. When have you ever heard men doing that? Men don't do that. Men, like, I'm going to work out, I'm going to train hard, I'm going to do better. You don't ever hear about men having thugs take somebody out at the kneecap. So that's like twice in 30 years. It is a purely original idea of a woman to take out the competition.
Was there any comment from Tanya Harding on this story?
Well, yeah, it's kind of hard. She doesn't get a lot of signals or good bandwidth in the trailer park she lives in right now. So I don't know if this has reached her yet. But yeah, so her name is Aminata Diallo, and the Nancy Kerrigan was Kira Hamraoui. I don't know how to speak French, but yeah. Anyway, so it was the Frenchy French. But yeah, isn't that crazy? What is with you women? That's how they take out the competition.
That is backstabber right there.
It wasn't a backstabber. It was a knee blunker. Boom, boom, boom,
Oh boy, that's diabolical. That is. Oof, man, I don't know. It's I couldn't tell you what it would take for me to think.
Name a time you heard men doing this.
I can't really, but
for all the stuff we do, women's is pretty evil sometimes too. That's all I'm saying. You like how I lowered my voice to say that?
Okay. Is your wife nearby?
It's like the Key and Peele sketch of when their wives are out. And I said, bitch.
God, I think that was the very first sketch they ever did on their show.
I think it was one of their first ones. Yeah.
Might have been. Anyway, so yeah, it's an amazing story, and I guess we'll see how that all turns out. Hefty Lefty says, this is why you need friends like Ray Lewis, to take the fall. All right, Chris Carter, take it easy, man. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Prison Wallet says, who cares? Let's talk about the developing breaking news of John Gruden outing other douchebags in the NFL. It's a good point, Prison Wallet, because just before we went on air, we were going to get to this in a minute. John Gruden, I sometimes say Jay Gruden. I said, okay. John Gruden launched a lawsuit against the NFL, naming Roger Goodell for being out to get him and messing with his contract and his livelihood. And I got to tell you, I think he might win, because here's the thing. Why would they release this information to take him down, if not to take him down? Roger Goodell, some of those emails where he just trashes Roger Goodell, I guarantee you Roger Goodell is behind taking down John Gruden. John Gruden's a douchebag. He's a loser. He's a racist. He's misogynistic. He's all those things.
Yeah.
But damn it, if he ain't right.
And we
on
just
this
got talking.
circumstance.
And we just got talking about how the women could be evil.
Yeah, well, John Gruden, evil, about to be rich. We'll talk more about that when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Ucora. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. TNC and privacy policy found at ucora.com/TNC.
I've always gotten UTIs. Cranberry products never worked for me, and I felt like I was out of options. I'm Jenna. My experience inspired me to start Ucora. Just mix a packet of Ucora with water and drink it to flush your urinary tract. Get your life back with Ucora. Get 30% off Ucora when you text HEALTH to 64,000. To get 30% off, text HEALTH to 64000.
This is Aaron Warby, host of the Bulls and the Bears Radio Hour. In the show, we try to teach the tools, rules, and strategies that traders and investors need to do better with their wealth and portfolio income. But most of the time, an hour is just not long enough. At Online Trading Academy, we believe that the average person should be given the tools, rules, and strategies that Wall Street's elites have been using for years to outperform others. Are you one of the millions that have recently established a trading account? Or have you always wanted to trade or take a more active role in guarding and growing your own wealth, but have not had the know-how or confidence? We want to invite you out to a complimentary 3-hour power trading and investing workshop, where you'll learn what it is that the professionals use to limit their risks and maximize their possible gains in both trading and investing. To register, call 8448-TRADER. That's 844-887-2337, or text the word stocks to 25029. Again, that's stocks to 25029. Reserve your seat now.
When it comes to automotive repairs, where do you start? Been looking for a new home? Should you rent or buy? If you're looking for the latest trends in the automotive industry or real estate, look no further than the Drive Friendly Radio Show. Hosted by Steve, with over 40 years in the automotive industry, and Felicia, who's well established in the real estate market, you can get great advice and insight you can trust. You'll be smarter for listening, and maybe you'll have a little fun too. The Drive Friendly Radio Show, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Everybody, Mark Asher, back to tell you about my friends at Valley Medical Weight Loss. I love this company. I've used them. I have friends that have used them. A ton of weight has been lost in a quick amount of time, and the right way. That's the important part. Look, they have 3 Valley locations, Tempe, Glendale, and Phoenix. So one is close to you, and they've been doing this for well over a decade. And right now, you can get your first week, $31.95, absolutely free. Just mention Money Radio or mention The Fanatic, and it is on them. 602-441-3305 or valleymedicalweightloss.com.
Bruce Jacobs here to tell you there is no doubt that Harman Solar can save you up to 85% on your monthly electric bill. That's a fact. But did you know it's possible to get solar for $0 down? You can lease, finance, or even purchase outright. They have plans that fit everybody. Harman Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harman Solar at 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go online to harmansolar.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM. And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. We got Keon Rhodes pushing the buttons, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. Oh, we're broadcasting live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale, and I just cracked me up. Fed fan just texted in. For the record, I have never tried to take out my competition with any weapons.
Good job, Fed fan. Good for you.
You only get a text like that on this show. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're talking about the soccer player lady who tried to Tanya Harding her competition on the same team. They're on the same team. So yeah, that is just wild. Twitty says, I got to admit, I watched the movie I, Tanya. It was the funniest movie I've seen in 10 years. Was it a comedy or was it just a biopic that made you laugh? Because sometimes that does happen. Prison Wallet says, I'm glad Gruden is sticking up for himself and taking down the whole house with him. This is going to be a total bleep show, and I love it. I don't love the stuff that he said and the fact that he's a filthy racist and misogynistic person, but I got to admit, I'm looking forward to the bleep show a little bit, aren't you?
I am. Look, he could not be the only person in the NFL saying that. The reason why they took him out, I don't think that there's any personal axe to grind with John Gruden in the NFL. I think they took him out so that they could pretend like he was the only person.
No. You're right about that, but there was a personal axe to grind. The moment Roger Goodell, Mr. $50 million a year, sees an email from little pipsqueak John Gruden, little pipsqueak, he says, he called me what? How many different emails?
That's
how many different years? Oh, hell no. Bitch, you're going down. So, so Gruden is wrong. Goodell is wrong. So many wrong. A lot of wrongs. And it's not going to affect your life or my life. Let's get some popcorn because this is going to be a hell of a show.
Well, it might affect my life I'm just hoping that there's enough wreckage and carnage that flies Daniel Snyder's way. It might make my life better.
That's right. You're hoping
my quality of life may improve.
I forgot about that aspect of things, but yeah, I am glad anytime a racist gets brought to light, anytime, and maybe John Gruden is racist light, he says a bunch of stuff, and maybe he's not the worst. He's like, I don't know if there's levels of racism, but he'd be like a low level one.
Come on,
you know
man.
what I mean? It's always wrong. It's always evil. I don't want to minimize it, but there's worse out there. I mean, look at what Suni Lee just had to go through. Olympic gold medal winner and Dancing with the Stars dancer. She was recently a victim of an Asian hate crime. And so that's why when certain things get brought to light, it's like, boom, get that spotlight on them. And people sit there and go, why do we have to see the end racism things on the helmets? Oh God, it's so heavy. Because there's still so much work to be done, because this gal was just out last month with some of her friends, also of Asian descent. And she said, we're just waiting for a ride to come pick us up. A car drives by. People inside started shouting racial slurs and saying, go back where you came from. And then one of them sprayed her on the arm with some pepper spray. And so before the car takes off there, she's just like, whoa. Luckily, that was the worst of it. She says, I was very mad, but there's nothing I could do or control because they skirted off. She says, I didn't do anything to them. And having the reputation, it's so hard because I didn't want to do anything that would get me into trouble. So I just let it happen. And she shouldn't have to put up with that. No. So that is why the end racism is in the end zone and on the helmets. And that's why it's still a product of the conversation. Good for you if you're not racist. Bad for you if you say, I'm so sick of this. You know what? Guess what? It's not about you, because that message needs to continue to be spread that we have to stop being stupid and evil. We have to stop being a racist country. And listen, it's not just us. They just sentenced somebody to some time in England for being racist towards some soccer players and stuff. Mm-hmm. So,
and yeah, a lot of work you can hear it in soccer. Like, I know we fall asleep at the sound of it, so I'm not going to get too deep into it. No, Jeffrey.
No, it's important. I'll stay awake.
Yeah, but the racial slurs that people yell in soccer stadiums in the UK, it's insane. Like you wouldn't believe it. You'd never hear that at an NFL game here. So it's definitely not just us. It's an international thing that we're trying to fight back here against.
Well, first we take care of our problems at home, and then, hopefully we'll be able to help the rest of the world too. So lead by example. Stop being dirty, filthy racists. And so that is why when the Gruden thing is out like that, that's why it's important to, scorn him. It's why it's important to punish, because we can't just keep letting this happen. You can't keep turning a blind eye on stuff like that. Hamilton Porter says racism is bad. Advocacy is good. But Colin Kaepernick is still a crappy quarterback.
Yeah, that's true.
I contend to the day that I die that Blake Bortles was a starter at one point that season, and surely he was better than Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
But okay. Not going to dig too deep into it.
But you do know though, Kaepernick, he lost it. Kurt Warner couldn't help fix you, then you're not getting fixed. So I'm not saying he's wrong about discrimination and racism. I'm not saying he's wrong about the way he was treated for the kneeling thing, but in football terms, he's not really good. Not since for a long time. So that is a fair argument. Anything else about the color of his skin or about the things that he's standing up for, social rights, being, zero things to say to me about that, people.
Yeah, while I'm just saying, while he was still in the league, he was far from the worst quarterback in the league. Now, no, I mean, come on. He's so far from it now.
Right now, so I don't even know what to tell you.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel, who is the worst quarterback starting in the league right now? That's a good question.
Ooh, I mean, Jared Goff has to be up there.
Jared Goff? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Heineke's won games this year. Sure, it's just 2, but
I don't think you can qualify it on wins. I think let's qualify it on ability and, I get it. You got to be good to win the game, but like Goff he's a decent enough quarterback in structure. He just is dumb as a brick and he makes dumb mistakes. And, he also sometimes follows dumb game plans. He doesn't read defense as well. But is he the worst quarterback in the league?
No, and I'm not just putting it on wins. He just hasn't played very well. And all the things you said about Jared Goff, most of those things have not been true this season. And part of that is playing with the Lions. Like Jared Goff is just the kind of quarterback. Things have to be really good around him for you to see the best of Jared Goff.
Or at least a good offensive line.
Yeah, he's not the guy that's going to elevate a bad team. So he's looking particularly bad because he's been in Detroit. Maybe Davis Mills in Houston when he was starting. He had that one good game when he first started against the Panthers, and he was terrible every other game after that.
Yeah, they always have one good game, don't they?
Yeah. Who else started that's not any good?
Boogie says the worst quarterback in the league is whoever is supposed to be starting for the Miami Dolphins. Both of them suck, Jacoby Brissett and Tua.
I disagree with that.
Wow.
I think Tua's okay. He's a very average quarterback. It's so
yeah. I was just going to say that. I think Tua's like an average, maybe a little above average NFL quarterback. I'm talking NFL quarterback.
So disappointing for where he was drafted because he's a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
But he's not a bad quarterback.
What about Zach Wilson?
Well, he's hurt now, so that's hard to read. But he wasn't doing very good either, was he?
He wasn't very good when he was starting.
He had a good game.
Mm-hmm. They all have a good game. Scrape off that good game and tell me what we got.
Yeah.
Mr. Wilbur says Billy Kilmer, Sonny Jurgensen. Okay, we're talking about starting quarterbacks now, Mr. Wilbur, not of all.
And how dare you? Those are Washington quarterbacks from the past. Yeah. Don't you dare besmirch the great name of Sonny Jurgensen. How dare you? How dare and Billy Kilmer.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Ukla says Carson Wentz. I beat you to it, so whatever. Fish Tank says, who is that draft net guy from the Texans? That dude was the worst starting quarterback, but now Tyrod is back. So, worse.
Does look like
Drew Lock probably would have made a case for himself when he was starting.
Yeah,
for worst. Ellinger, maybe if he had to start. I don't know. Gus Frerotte. Come on, Hamilton Porter.
Just keep naming now. Okay, I see what you're going for, but I'm not going to defend Gus Frerotte.
He has a list, a short list, but it's a list. He says Davis Mills, Jared Goff, Russell Wilson, Tracy Lawrence, albeit they're all rookies.
Russell Wilson?
Oh,
did I have Russell Wilson on there?
Is there another Wilson at quarterback somewhere?
I guess we're talking Zach
Wilson.
Zach Wilson. That's what he meant. Yeah, that's what he meant. He didn't mean Russell. I said that. He says, albeit they are all rookies. And then there's Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. So Sam Darnold deceived us for 3 weeks, though. That's the thing. Darnold looked good for like 3 weeks, and we were like, hey, has he turned this thing around? No. No, he hasn't.
Big George says, that's a bad take, Boogie. Did you watch yesterday's game? Jacoby Brissett and Tua both look good. I think both of them are serviceable quarterbacks to start for the Dolphins unless Jeff Garcia comes out of retirement.
Well, I mean, but until Tua came in, they couldn't get the football into the end zone. They had to settle for field goals. So Tua's the guy that actually got the team to get some touchdown activity going. So I'd say Tua was better than the other option.
Ooh, Fish Tank. He says, is Simeon still starting for the Saints? Oh, Simeon was pretty bad in the past, but he actually looked all right the other day.
And even in the past, when Simeon looked bad, Simeon is a 50-50 guy. He'll give you one decent game and then just one stinker, and pretty much consistently on and off eternally. So,
Fed Fan wants us all to know that the I, Tanya soundtrack, fantastic.
Really?
I'm guessing
Let me
it's a
go
bunch
look
of-
that up on iTunes right now.
Yeah, bunch of 80s and 90s music. I'm not sure what that is. Rob Diz says, "Hey, when the Corvettes are rocking, don't come knocking." All right,
Well,
for real
oh,
though,
yeah.
because we're just in there tripping balls, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rob.
All the
Oaktown
LSD.
Destroyer says, "Hey, have you guys seen a picture of Dalvin Cook's girlfriend after he beat the hell out of her?"
I
No,
have, and it's not good.
Yeah. So is it starting to look like us thinking that maybe this was a two-way thing where they're both crazy, might have been manufactured by Dalvin Cook's lawyer, and the truth is he just beat the hell out of her? Do we have any more facts on that case? Because we all got a little bit hoodwinked by that lawyer coming out and saying Dalvin Cook was a victim of a domestic thing. And we're like, oh man, we can see how that happens. Crazy stuff happens. There are crazy girls out there. And now it's just like, ooh, maybe this is all a bunch of legal hanky panky. Are we getting any closer to knowing what the truth is?
Unfortunately, no, because there is so much that needs to be uncovered with all of that, and that's the reason why I didn't necessarily want to both sides it, because she had evidence that proved he was crazy, and so I was like, okay, you accused her of breaking into your house and you having to defend yourself. Do you have any evidence of that? And we just have his lawyer said that.
What happened?
My microphone stand just came apart right
Oh,
here.
no.
I just, so all of a sudden I'm just like, "Phoomp." Well, I guess I'm holding this now. I guess I could do this for 6 minutes.
Okay.
All right, then. This happens to me like once a year. Once a year, suddenly a microphone that I am touching falls apart. Let's see if I can just go back on here.
I
There
wish
it
you
is.
could have seen that, listening audience.
Well, yeah, they can. Yeah, just like our podcast, our video stuff is saved for viewing later, I guess, if you want. Navy Brad says Kirk Cousins, he's just crap.
But
That's a good point.
Kirk has had more average and above average games than below average games this season. So I don't want to lump him in with the bad quarterbacks.
All the Vikings fans do. Navy Brad also said, and by the way, this whole I, Tanya thing, if a guy needs to injure another guy, you know what we do? We call John Wick.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I wish I had John Wick's number.
Right.
Wilbur, we're not doing that anymore. Jay Schrader, come on, man, stop it. Should I stop? Should I change my thing?
Letting you know that there's a little bit there.
Okay. But you realize that anytime you try to be subtle and let me know, I'm just going to talk about it on air.
Good to know.
Yeah. And you'll still be blamed. 888-368-1580. Baker Mayfield is manageable. He sometimes is not great, but he's manageable. He doesn't the reason you win as much as the running game, but
the reason why Baker comes to mind is he's had at least two absolutely atrocious football games where why he was playing is beyond me, especially if he's got the torn labrum, so there's like a perfectly good excuse as to why he looks terrible.
Yeah.
But they still ran him out there and he looked god awful. So I mean, if those two games are sticking in your mind, I can understand that, but he's also one of those guys. I'd put him with Kirk Cousins, where he hasn't been great, but he's had more good games than bad games.
Fed Fan says the I, Tanya soundtrack is actually classic rock. So maybe we should take a look at that, Fed Fan. Thanks
All
for the
right.
heads up. I'll check it out on Spotify. Senior Wake and Bake says Keon, no. Doug Williams, Jeffrey, no. Peyton Manning, Randy, certified shortstop for the quarterback, no. What is he even talking about?
He's just calling out all of our Super Bowl winning quarterbacks.
I feel like we're like all puppies, and he's like, Keon, no. Randy, no. Jeffrey, no. That's what it felt like. You gotta
I'm proud of
ease
Doug
up
Williams.
on what you're smoking.
I don't understand why that would be a bad thing. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't follow.
Boogie says Tua is a bad quarterback. What are you, drunk already, George? Yeah, he'll make it as a back though. Goff is really bad. Lions have above average O-line. They both had horrible accuracy, throwing 5 feet above receivers' heads. Miami's defense is why they won that game.
I would agree. And that's the defense that we were looking for earlier this year. I think Keon alluded to that.
But Randy also said this. They didn't get into the end zone until Tua got in the game. And I'm sorry, he made some throws that were some big time throws.
Yeah, and by the way, George is absolutely drunk right now. Happy Lefty. Happy Lefty says there's a video circulating of supposedly her threatening to shoot him in his house. And one of the pics circulating of her looks kind of doctored with the bloodstains on the shirt. But as of now, we'll have to wait for court dealings or more conclusive evidence.
Wow.
Well, again, and the other thing is a little bit like, is this a civil case and it's not a criminal case? So that's always a little bit of a red flag for me on the credibility side. Hey, I don't want to just end on negative notes about, female athletes getting harassed or, beating the hell out of each other. There's actually a good positive female story. I don't consider this an athlete. Some people argue with me, but no, competitive eating is not a sport. Just stop it.
Okay.
But this gal named Neela Zizzer, she polished off a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts in less than 4 minutes. Wow.
4 minutes to do a 12-pack of Krispy Kremes, huh?
Yeah. Do you think you could do that? I mean, they were Pokemon flavored. If that makes a difference, I don't even know what the Pokemon tastes like. Yeah, she sat down and in just under 4 minutes, bam, 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 12 donuts.
There was a time.
And her prize, diabetes.
There was a time when I would take that to task. I would take that on.
At least give it a shot, right?
There was a time I could do that. As a matter of fact, as I ponder back over my life, I think there was a time when Jeffrey and I had a eating contest, and I believe I won that eating contest. Did I not? Wasn't it a pizza eating contest?
Yes, the first one you beat me.
Yeah.
But then I beat this other guy who we don't like. He's a giant turd. I'm not going to say his name on the radio, but
of course,
that would be unprofessional.
Identified him as a giant turd. Of course not.
Oh, it's not like I haven't told him. He knows that I think that. I don't want to give him any airtime. That's all. This is another guy we used to work with, and he's a fat bastard. He stabbed everybody in the back in the business at one time or another.
Yeah, including
me. But I had a eating contest and I beat him, so I was very proud of that. I was surprised that I beat him, and I was a little surprised I lost to you. I had a technique that was flawed.
Well,
I was eating 2 pieces at a time, thinking, okay, I'm going to make this, and then Randy dropped me like a bad habit in that pizza eating contest.
Yeah, and there were other times though that Jeff he got me bad. Didn't we have like a ping pong game or something? We always had these crazy things going on at remotes back in the day.
Yeah, the Pizza Olympics and stuff like that. I had a shrimp eating contest against a listener, and I whooped them pretty good.
Yeah, I think you proved that you are the king of shrimps.
Can't touch me when it comes to 2 things, Randy. Thumb wrestling, shrimp. Bam.
That's true. You are the king prawn, and you are the world champion thumb wrestler. Anyone that wants to try, you can take on my pal Jeffco. My money is on Jeffco every time.
Bring it. Those are the things that no matter how old I get or how out of shape I get, you can't touch this. Can't touch this. Can't touch this. I'll even put on the paints. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, let's have the continuation of our sports betting education. Josh Applebaum from the Visa Network is going to join us and teach us some more about this newfangled thing we have here in Arizona called sports betting. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Okay, so usually I'm a last minute shopper, but the deals at Kohl's, way too good to pass up. I got 40% off holiday decor, 40% off the cutest St. Nicholas square finds for the table, and found the toys topping my kids' list this year. You can even save an extra 15% and get $10 off when you spend $25 or more. So now I get the whole early shopping thing, and I'm a big fan. Select styles, 15% off ends November 20th, $10 off $25 ends November 12th. Toys, coupons do not apply. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with your electric bill. And with all these things plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly bill? Well, you got to call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
Your favorite radio station.
And now you're up to date on the news. Stand by for weather and traffic right after this.
It wakes you up.
Start your day. Dan keeps you informed as well as entertained.
You guys are absolutely the best.
How do you like to work here?
At The Fanatic, we're looking for commissioned sales reps to knock on doors, set up appointments, and extol the benefits of advertising with your favorite radio station. Send your resume to jobs at 1580thefanatic.com.
'Twas the season of cheer and joy filled the town, except for Scrooge with his perma frown. The gift of a Peloton bike touched his soul without doubt.
Work, Peloton.
When your workout's a joy, it's a joy to work out.
You can do it.
The original Peloton bike is our best price ever, $39 a month. Or access membership separate. Terms apply. See website for details.
Everybody, Mark Asher, about to tell you about my friends at Valley Medical Weight Loss. I love this company. I've used them. I have friends who've used them. A ton of weight has been lost in a quick amount of time and the right way. That's the important part. Look, they have 3 Valley locations, Tempe, Glendale, and Phoenix. So one is close to you, and they've been doing this for well over a decade. And right now you can get your first week, $31.95, absolutely free. Just mention Money Radio or mention The Fanatic, and it is on them. 602-441-3305 or valleymedicalweightloss.com.
If you're not spending every waking moment checking us out online,
You better have a good excuse.
yeah, we've loaded up our website with the stories, pics, video, podcast, commentary, and more. The kind of stuff you love.
Hey, it takes a lot of time to post all this junk.
And you'll love every bit of it.
Very well. Or at least most of it.
It appears that the website has become alive.
Hit it now.
It's on the internet.
1580thefanatic.com.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, Arizona sports betting station. Okay, here's what's happening play-by-play wise this weekend. Tonight, you got GCU hosting North Florida State. Tomorrow, you got Notre Dame hosting Virginia. And then on Sunday morning, Saints at Titans. Sunday night, Chiefs at Raiders. And then Monday Night Football is Rams at 49ers. That's what's going on here on 1580 The Fanatic. So right now it's time to welcome in Josh Applebaum. He's the host of Betting Across America, 11 a.m. Every Saturday morning here on 1580 The Fanatic. He also hosts the Market Insights podcast, and he is the author of this book, this very, very book. It's called The Everything Guide to Sports Betting. You can find that on the Amazon, and it's a larger book than I thought it'd be, and it is chock full of sports betting education. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing great, guys. Great to be with you back on The Fanatic. Always look forward to our Friday night talks. And guys, if you're a bettor right now, this is as good as it gets. We got college hoops back, NHL, NBA, college football. We got a big football weekend in general. So I'm excited to be with you. And it's pouring rain and cold in Boston. So hopefully you guys got some better weather out there in the desert.
Well, this afternoon, as the sun starts to get a little bit lower in the sky, remember, it's only 4:24 here. So, yeah, there's still plenty of good light to go out and do some stuff on a Friday afternoon, getting into the weekend. But listen, the only thing we want to know about is sports betting right now. So, take it easy on that whole go out and do stuff crap, Josh. We're trying to learn sports betting.
Trying to keep our listeners in tow here, Josh.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I feel like that one kid in the class who monopolizes all the teacher's time. I'm always asking questions and trying to figure out the sports betting thing. And I feel like I have been unfair to the other students in the class. So, of course, if there's anybody on the text line who wants to ask our sports betting professor, Josh Applebaum, a question, please do. 888-368-1580. And then, of course, Keon, Randy, I don't want to monopolize this whole thing. You guys go ahead. If you
I have a question. I have a question.
All right. So Randy White, 1580 The Fanatic.
Hi, Josh. Randy White, a longtime listener, first-time caller. Josh, what is the difference between the VIG and the juice? I keep hearing this. I want to know the difference.
Oh, so Randy, great to meet you, my friend. This is kind of a trick question, Catch-22. There is no difference. So the VIG, the juice, it all means the same thing. It's that tax or commission that we must pay the sports books. And really, VIG comes from the word vigorish. I actually researched this when I wrote my book, but it's from a very long-term, I think it's a Russian word that would mean basically the takeout or the takeout of the winnings. So we have to pay that juice to the sports books in order for them to accept our bets. We can call it the juice. We can call it the vig, the vigorish. It's all the same exact thing. When you look at the odds for any spread or total, it'll be that typically minus 110 number next to the odds. It could be minus 115, minus 120. It could be minus 105. It fluctuates based on the action coming in. But juice will tell you how much you have to pay. So if it's minus 110, you have to risk $110 in order to win 100. It also can help you predict the next move, which is important. So, like, for example, if a team is, minus 3 and the juice is minus 110, that's standard juice. That's basically what it should be. If you see it creep up to minus 115, minus 120, the juice gets more and more expensive. Tells you that's the side taking in a little more action, and that's going to help you predict the next move. So once it gets juiced up, you hit around minus 120. Doesn't get much further than that. The whole odds that would then move minus 3 up to minus 3.5. So therefore, if you like that favorite, you can look at the juice and say, hey, I should bet it now because the line's going to move. If I'm on that dog, I want to wait. If I can wait it out, I can get, maybe a hook there or an extra half point. So it's how much you got to pay. Juice, vigorish, same thing. And then it also can help you predict the next move.
All right, now understand something, Josh. The reason for some of the confusion is there's a couple of wine bars here in the metro area called the Vig, where soccer moms go to try to feel cool again. So, that is why when we hear Vig, that messes with our head. So, and then they go there to also have gin and juice. So then that's also confusing.
Ooh.
So thank you for clearing that up. Keon, how about you? You got any? Keon is more experienced than we are. He's been using the sports betting apps for a bit. You got any questions there, Keon?
Yeah, when he says more experienced, I mean like barely more experienced. I've been trying to, I've been betting for a while longer, but I still don't know. A lot
He's
of the
afraid
terms.
his mom is listening.
No, I just don't know all the terms yet. I'm just trying to get my footing is the same as everybody else because sports gambling was just legalized in Tennessee when I was there right before I moved here. So I'm still trying to get a hold of everything. And we were texting back and forth earlier, and you mentioned NFL key numbers, and I'm really interested in that concept because what are these numbers that are just the more likely margins of victory there? What are these key numbers in the NFL?
Yeah, Keon, you're totally right. So I wanted to hit on this as I don't know, the top point of our lesson plan tonight. But key numbers, basically, when we're talking NFL, if we are football fans, we watch a lot of football games. Don't we kind of notice that like a lot of games are 27-24 or 2017 or 30-27? It seems like there's a lot of 3-point wins for a lot of teams, or a 7-point win or a 6-point win. These are what we call key numbers because a key number, just as you said, Keon, it means that these are the most common margins of victory. So the number one most key number in all the NFL is 3. What that means is the most common method of scoring is the field goal. So we oftentimes see a disproportionate amount of games that land on the margin of 3. So what that means to bettors is if you're going to bet one of these games, you either want to be on or off a key number. For example, like Kansas City and the Las Vegas Raiders. If you look at this Sunday night game, which by the way, guys, yesterday, another primetime dog cashed. You look at these Thursday, Sunday night and Monday night primetime dogs. It was crazy last night. You saw, actually what was funny is the Ravens there, they opened like, I want to say minus like 6.5, gets steamed up all the way to minus 8.5. Doesn't matter. These primetime dogs this year continue to cash. If this is an edge you want to exploit, I would definitely recommend it. Primetime dogs are now 20-8 against the spread, 71%. And kind of to put it into perspective, you've been betting $100 every Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime dog this year. $100 better would be up around $1,700. That's how good they've been. But just on the key number topic, guys, that this other primetime dog here with Las Vegas Raiders, Kansas City opened a 3-point favorite. The line is down to 2.5. That's meaningful because Kansas City is the popular play, and yet we've seen the line move toward Vegas. So it looks like some respected wise guy money on Vegas. But here's the thing, Vegas, you really wanted them at +3 because that way they lose by 3, you push your bet. You get them 2.5 now. And they lose by 3, you're going to lose instead of push. On the flip side, key numbers with dogs, you really want hooks. So a hook is the extra half point. So instead of a good example would be Seattle this weekend at Green Bay. If you like the Seattle Seahawks with Russell Wilson coming back and Aaron Rodgers on a short week coming back from COVID, that line opened at 5. It's down to 3.5, and it may get down to 3. So if you like Seattle, you want to get them now at +3.5. Shop around on your app, find that extra hook, because if you get them +3 and they lose by 3, you push. But if you get that hook, you win. So long story short, guys, you're on a favorite and it's around a key number, you want that -2.5 instead of 3. If you're on a dog, you at least want the 3 or the +3.5. And then same thing goes for the second most key number, which would be 7. If I'm on a dog, I want a 7 or 7.5. If I'm on a favorite, I want a -6.5. You always want to be conscious of this. It doesn't matter which side you like, but no matter which side you like, make sure you're on or off the key number, which will hopefully either give you a push instead of a loss or a win instead of a push.
This might be irrelevant to, I guess, where the line will be or what the odds are going to be. Was there ever any report on whether or not Aaron Rodgers had symptoms from the COVID or if he just tested positive?
So I'm not sure. That's been a big topic of conversation. And yeah, I don't really know what's going on. I know the Packers got fined because, apparently Rodgers said he was immunized and yet, he wasn't fully vaxxed. And if that's true, there are rules with the NFL where if you're not vaxxed, you can't stay in the team hotel. You got to wear a mask at all times. If he was in the team hotel, he wasn't wearing a mask and he was kind of, not following all these protocols under the assumption he was vaxxed, then he wasn't. And that could be a bigger issue. But I think those fines obviously speak to that. But this week, guys, the thing about that game with Seattle and Green Bay, right now it's -3.5, like it's going to fall to 3. I jumped on Seattle +3.5. But here's the thing. If Aaron Rodgers is out and we get Jordan Love in there, and Rodgers is, I think he can be activated on Saturday, but that's a pretty short turnaround. You don't practice all week. Then you got to play real quick like that. If he's out and it's Jordan Love, this line probably gets down to a pick 'em. But if he's in and he plays, that 3.5 may shoot up to, I don't know, maybe -4, 4.5. So you always got to play this waiting game with star quarterbacks, but they're the ones that are going to move these numbers. A lot of people think like a star wide receiver or running back or a linebacker, they're not going to move it too much. It's really quarterbacks that move numbers in the NFL.
Kyle G on the text line wants to know, does Frank the Tank have any good bets going for him in tonight's game? Frank Kaminsky, who came out, had a really great game for the Phoenix Suns in place of, DeAndre Ayton. Do you see anything worth betting on Frank the Tank, or would you even bother touching that?
So my one thing, Frank the Tank, which who was he? Wisconsin? What was he in college? I remember him.
He was a Badger.
Yeah, he was huge in March Madness. So I remember we talked a couple weeks ago. You're like, should I be worried about the Suns? I want to say they're like undefeated since we last talked. I think they were a game under 500. They've won a few in a row. They're looking better here. But to be honest with you guys, I don't play a lot of player props. So player props are basically any kind of bet that's not tied to an outcome of the actual game. So with player props, it's, will Kaminsky go over under 9.5 points? And I made that up. I don't know the actual number, but those are tougher to find an edge. And with player props, I never want to bet a player to an over after they have a career game, because typically they're going to get a lot of buzz and a lot of love and a lot of shine. But there oftentimes will be inflated lines or shaded numbers, like whatever Kaminsky's number is on points tonight. It's probably a little bit higher than it usually is, and people are just going to take the over because he had a huge game. I actually kind of like buying low and betting against players after they have a big game. But I would say to your Suns tonight, Keon, you might have to fire up that app and bet the Suns on the money line, because they opened a 1-point dog. Now they're laying 1.5 points. So that's a dog to fave line move that I always get excited about. I'd be looking at a money line play here, which means just win the game -120. Here's a teachable moment. Right now the spread is Suns -1.5. You could lay the 1.5 and they would have to win by 2 or more for you to cover. In these spots, if you like a favorite, a really short favorite, like -3 or less, I bet the money line, just because, off the bat, such a short spread, it's probably going to be a tight game. Who knows? But I don't want to have a missed, 3-pointer or a buzzer beater or something to kind of kill that number later. I always money line these plays if you like a really short favorite. So just win the game around -120. I'm on your Suns tonight, guys.
Yay! We hope. All right, that's great. This is Josh Applebaum from Betting Across America every Saturday at 11 a.m. here on 1580 Fanatic. Also get the textbook that we all got, the Everything Guide to Sports Betting, on the Amazon. Something that has popped up in recent weeks, Josh, has been the fact that home field advantage don't mean nothing. It has not been an advantage, and I'm sure Vegas has to have noticed. What are they doing with that? How do they move lines? How do they adjust the betting to protect themselves? Because that's all it's all about. Vegas protecting itself first. So are they making all these just pick'ems, just throw up games, or is there some science behind it when all the science of the home field advantage doesn't seem to even matter?
Yeah, it's a great question. And if you've been really paying attention to the NFL, this is a huge topic of conversation. So we saw it a little bit last year. Road dogs did very well. And I think a lot of people said, oh, it was the COVID year. You didn't have fans in the stands. When fans get back, we get back to normal, and you get that big boost from your home crowd, we'll see that home field advantage return. But that hasn't happened this year, guys. Dogs have been great this year, and really road dogs in particular. Road underdogs are 51-30 against the spread, 63%. They're killing it this year. They're having a great year. So I think the odds makers, here's the thing. The NFL is the most heavily bet sport by far. It garners the most attention and bet count and ticket counts. And, it's the king of betting here. And really what that means is you have a lot of public bettors betting the NFL. And the public has a really pronounced bias toward wanting to bet favorites and home teams. And it used to be, that you would get 3 points for home field advantage. A lot of research I've seen, we've done at VSiN, is it's probably more like 2 points, like 1.5 points. There's only a couple stadiums where it's still worth 3 points. Seattle, up with the 12th man, Arrowhead because of the noise, Denver because of the altitude. But really, the odds makers, I don't know how much they're adjusting to it because they don't really have to. The public continues to take a lot of these home teams, a lot of these favorites. And therefore, if you're a contrarian-minded bettor like me, you can really make some hay here betting on these road dogs. And one system that I really like, short road dogs +3 or less. Basically, that means on a neutral site, they're pretty much even. Those teams are 15-5 against the spread this year, 75%. A couple road dogs to keep an eye out for. Philadelphia Eagles at Denver this weekend. They opened getting, I think, like 2.5. They're down to +1.5. Seattle, we mentioned. Then also, I'm a Patriots fan, but a little nervous about this weekend. Cleveland Browns. Everyone's back in the Pats, but my Patriots fell from -3 down to -2.5. That will be another short road dog match to Cleveland. This is something that we can take advantage of if we're betting the NFL. Really lean on these road dogs.
Moist One says, speaking of covered in juice, Blackhawks are easy money tonight, and I don't trust the Hooks ever since they took down Ole Miss and Hugh Freeze. Huh? Yeah. Anyway, a lot of these texters can be wise asses, Josh, and some of it quite insightful. So, all right, one last question for you here: parlays. So, is there a safer parlay? I think that as I've sort of come blinking into the sunlight of sports betting, and I'm sort of looking around, I see a lot of people go, hey, I'm excited about this parlay. I'm excited about this parlay. Oh, I just lost this parlay because this one thing happened. Are in-game parlays maybe a safer and an easier thing to bet than multi-game parlays?
So I think it definitely depends on your style as a bettor. I'll preface it by saying I'm anti-parlay. A lot of the research I've done for my book and, for my own experience of when I first started betting on sports, I love parlays. Why? Because it's a get-rich-quick scheme where, hey, I can, instead of, betting this one game, I can tie it with other bets. And if they all hit, instead of just winning what I risk, I can get a way bigger payout. But really, if you look at what we call the hold percentage, which is the amount of money the house holds on to after they settle and pay out all their wagers, the hold percentage on parlays is around 30%. So every dollar bet on parlays, the house is keeping 30 cents. Whereas with regular flat betting or individual betting, it's like 5%. So 5 cents per bet. So ask yourself this: what do the odds makers or what do the sports books want you to bet? They want you to bet parlays because, as you mentioned, they're hard to win. It's hard enough to win one bet. When you layer in more and more bets on the same bet, all you do is assume more risk and make it much harder to win. Now, that being said, people do win parlays. But really, one thing that jumps out to me is a lot of the sports books will tweet about this or tout this and say, our house member, won $10,000 on a $5 bet with a 25-team parlay. You got to ask yourself, why are they promoting these things? Because they make a killing for the house. So to answer your question, I would be really kind of recommend to new bettors in particular, flat betting, bet games individually, bet the same amount on each game, just grind that long term. Parlays are really a handout to the books. They're pretty much the penny slot, that people like to play, but really don't win too often at. And really, in-game wagering can be valuable. They don't typically let you do parlays in-game because the numbers move so quick and it's hard to tie them up to something else. But perfect example would be in-game wagering. Like if you're on a favorite, a 10-point favorite in the NBA, and let's say they get down, 10-2 to start the game, live line that favorite that's down. Typically, you can get good numbers by taking advantage of live lines and just be disciplined because you're betting games and you feel like you can just live bet everything every 2 seconds. You get intrigued by a number that looks valuable. pick your spots. Don't have too many live in-game bets. That's when you can go down a slippery slope.
So basically, friends don't let friends parlay, but they do pick up the Everything Guide to Sports Betting on Amazon and give it as a Christmas gift to the degenerate or new gambler in your life. Josh Applebaum, thank you so much for being with us from Betting Across America, 11 a.m. here on 1580 The Fanatic. And of course, you can check him out on the Twitter at Josh Insights for insights. So Josh, you have a great weekend. And thanks so much for another great class of education on sports betting.
You guys are the best. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend and talk to you soon.
Thanks, buddy. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, let's just talk some more NFL stuff. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
AZ Preps 365 is your headquarters for all things high school sports in Arizona. Brett Quintine, James Mello, and Jose Garcia keep you up to speed with all the action, highlights, interviews, and insider information for the prep sports scene. You need to tune in to AZ Preps 365 every Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your new home for sports, 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Bruce Jacobs here to tell you there is no doubt that Harman Solar can save you up to 85% on your monthly electric bill. That's a fact. But did you know it's possible to get solar for zero down? You can lease, finance, or even purchase outright. They have plans that fit everybody. Harman Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned, local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harman Solar at 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go online to harmansolar.com.
Shante, can you sweep that, please?
Mina's salon business is growing faster than she can keep up with. She needs a new shop manager before her bookings go out of style.
Curtain bangs and balayage would look so good on you. Just hang on one second. Can you please answer that?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
When it comes to automotive repairs, where do you start? Been looking for a new home? Should you rent or buy? If you're looking for the latest trends in the automotive industry or real estate, look no further than the Drive Friendly Radio Show. Hosted by Steve, with over 40 years in the automotive industry, and Felicia, who's well established in the real estate market, you can get great advice and insight you can trust. You'll be smarter for listening, and maybe you'll have a little fun too. The Drive Friendly Radio Show, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
'Twas the season of cheer and joy filled the town, except for Scrooge with his perma frown. The gift of a Peloton bike touched his soul without doubt.
Work, Peloton.
When your workout's a joy, it's a joy to work out.
You can do it.
The original Peloton bike is our best price ever, $39 a month. All access membership separate. Terms apply. See website for details.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join. I got my education because of the Guard. I got to travel a little bit and experience a whole different culture. It helped me get my job, it helped me pay for my house.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Arizona Army National Guard, aired by the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Just because you can't listen to us doesn't mean you have to miss our brilliance.
Check our latest updates on news, scores, opinions, and more on Facebook and Twitter.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, Arizona sports betting station. Hey, Randy, you know how I was saying that I was kind of looking at project cars, and somebody is trying to sell me on the idea of buying a DeLorean and fixing it up like a Back to the Future car. And I was just like, no, I ain't dumb. I know that those vehicles were horrible. They actually were badly made and badly ran and rushed into production, and they're just huge pieces of garbage. And also, I don't know how I feel about a car that's dishwasher safe. I don't know if that's
well, that's sad to hear, because my only knowledge of the DeLorean is from the Back to the Future movies, and I just assumed that they were good cars because the It was the car that Well, that stinks.
Here's what it is: the guy who designed them, brilliant designer, total cokehead, but a brilliant designer. And what happened was he had to rush it in production. He did it on the cheap. It wasn't very good quality. Plus, he then was trying to fund some of the company by doing ginormous coke deals and smuggling and stuff like that. He got arrested, went to prison. That's the end of that. But the car itself, you can take one and make it nice, I guess, but it takes an awful lot of money and an awful lot of work to make it stable, put a different engine in it, make sure that the suspension is what it should be, the quality control. You almost have to take it apart and rebuild it completely. And I know that Michael J. Fox has some people who took the original DeLorean and they did it all up and they take it around for his charity. But the thing that should tip you off is they take it around on a trailer. So but it's still cool.
There are 5 original Back to the Future DeLoreans still in existence.
Yep.
One is at a theme park somewhere. You talked about the Michael J. Fox Foundation has one.
Right.
There's one they used at one of the Back to the Future where he went back to the Old West, and it's got that kind of that rail car look to it. Yeah.
Right.
So there's that one, and then there's one more in a museum. And it's in Hollywood. I can't remember exactly where, but I watched a documentary. It was pretty interesting. But you're exactly right. The cars don't run. They are just horrible cars. And that's another one. They had one that's all torn up, and it was the one that got wrecked. So pretty interesting, but terrible car.
So,
absolutely terrible.
Keep in mind, you can still find DeLoreans outside of those 5. But those are just regular DeLoreans,
Yeah.
And I wouldn't pay much for one, but if one was really cheap and I could do something with it, you know what I mean? Just kind of take it apart, put it together, maybe take the frame, drop it on a different frame, put a 6.4 Hemi in it, just make it just nuts. If they could put a 6.4 Hemi in an AMC Pacer, I could put a 6.4 Hemi in anything. And then now you got something that could be fun, something that just scares the hell out of everybody. Hefty Lefty says the time machine kicked in at 88 miles an hour because that's the fastest the car could go.
Yeah.
I don't even think it did that.
Right at the limit. Yeah.
No, I think that's what you call movie magic.
Yeah.
Speed up forget it. Straight Striper says, I got some business acumen, can analyze risk and ROI, and I've got a decent education. Why is betting so complicated and so hard to understand? I want to dip my toes in it, and I listen to professionals, but I've yet to place a bet because it doesn't make any sense to me. Am I dumb? No, you're not dumb, because I'm kind of in the same boat. All these terms and things that get floated around, I'm starting to understand them a little more the more we talk to Josh Applebaum.
Yeah.
But honestly, Straight Striper, if you got $15 laying around, go on Amazon and get Josh Applebaum's Everything Guide to Sports Betting. It's produced. It's not just some dude making a book. It's Simon and Schuster published this thing, but it's very comprehensive. Has a lot of good answers in there, and you're not dumb. But here's the thing: everybody, if you're a genius but nobody's taught you, then it doesn't mean you're dumb. It just means you don't know yet. So even the smartest person on the planet, until they're faced with something new and they learn it, they don't know. So don't feel dumb. It's just a matter of getting in there and learning about it. But the smart thing is, as a smart person, which you are, learn first, bet second. Don't just go run guns blazing and without knowing what's going on. So that's yes, Hefty Lefty, you can get books on Amazon. I know that it's been a while since anybody's thought about doing that, but yes, actual physical paper books.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's not just for TV shows.
And listen, this guide I've been thumbing through, and I really want to sit down and put some time into this. But this is like betting for dummies. Okay, this explains all the aspects, and it talks plain English to you, and it will give you a good foundation for you to start your betting journey. And it covers all different areas, including the one that I need to learn about. and that's take your bias out of it, or no emotional betting. In other words, if the Cardinals we're playing the Green Bay Packers, the Packers were the favorites, and and you had an opportunity to get in on a bet here on a good line, I would take the Packers over the Cardinals if it meant winning a bet or the greatest opportunity to win a bet. So I would, if you want to learn about betting, this has been very easy to understand, and I've got a fourth grade level of understanding. So if I'm saying that,
hey, we're no dummies. We went to that high school for 8.5 years.
That's right.
I have another question for him, though. I wonder if he's ever bet on competitive eating. That leads me to something else, though. Straight Striper, bet what you know. Make sure you know the sport that you're dealing with. That way you have a better shot of success on that.
Yeah.
Fish Tank says, Straight Striper, just start small. Start with just understanding the spread and stick to one game bet. Stay away from all the parlays and the junk. Just keep it simple. And learn as you go. Simple as that.
There you go. Just jump in somewhere, but learn as you go.
And I feel the same way about golf, Straight Striper. Everybody golfs. It sounds like all the networking, all of the business deals, all the fun stories happen on a golf course. And I just have never learned how to golf. I want to learn how to golf, but I just have never gotten around to it, And, that's one thing in my life, probably why I'm on this station. I'm not good at networking. And I've just not, been able to get out there, and I hear a lot of that happens on a golf course. So I'm excited, though, to learn. And Randy, I don't know if you know this, but a new study found that if you're taking up golf, you should learn to play opposite-handed. They say righties who play left-handed and lefties who play right-handed more likely to excel at golf and actually make a PGA Tour.
No kidding. Well, a lot of people don't know this. Maybe you guys do, because you're way smarter than me. Phil Mickelson is actually right-handed.
Yeah.
He
And
plays
his
golf
nickname is
left-handed.
Lefty.
Yeah, he plays golf left-handed.
Yeah, that is a true thing.
That was because he played opposite his dad. His dad would play, and his dad was right-handed, so he would play left-handed so he could copy his dad.
Right, he would stand in front of his dad and try to copy the swing, and that's how you learn how to swing left-handed.
I think that might be the story on, I think it's Paul McCartney being a left-handed guitar player, because he would see the other person doing it and try to mimic it in a mirror.
Yeah.
4 men have won one of golf's major championships using a left-handed stance that are actually right-handed. So Phil Mickelson, Mike Weir, Sir Bob Charles, and I guess Bubba Watson. Of course, he does that for everything. He's not one of those righties to lefties, but he is a lefty. Anyway, at Jordan Spieth, he throws, he shoots left-handed, but he plays golf in a right-handed stance.
I did not know that.
There might be something to this. And it's funny because a lot of times I find myself favoring a hockey stick like a lefty. So I don't know. This might be something, or it's going to completely screw me up and make me worse at golf.
I know when I was playing ball and I was having a hard time hitting one time, the batting coach on our team, it was a non-pro league, he says, turn around and hit left-handed. So I went in the cage and I hit left-handed. And although I didn't do great, I wasn't hitting with power or anything. When I turned back around right-handed, suddenly I was making contact. I don't know. The brain is a weird thing.
Well,
but I took about 100 cuts left-handed, turned back around, and I was stroking the ball. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
I remember hearing that with Serge Ibaka in the NBA. He was not a great free throw shooter, and a shooting coach told him, "We're going to teach you left-handed," and he became like a 70% free throw shooter. Like he got to a respectable level doing it. So there's something to that, switching to left-handed.
Maybe it is. It's about letting go in your head. And just letting the mechanics of your body follow through.
Yeah, maybe you just don't have the muscle memory, so you haven't built up any of the mistakes on that side.
Yeah.
So you're just fresh. You can just learn whatever it is.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a fresh blackboard. You go up there and it's completely clean, and you're just starting from scratch. Exactly right.
Here comes Moisty, Moist One with the stranger joke. Okay,
should have known.
Fan says Rafael Nadal is actually right-handed, but his uncle forced him to play tennis left-handed, and he also golfs right-handed. And by the way, I think I could understand astrophysics faster than I could understand betting.
That's not true. Not true. Not true, Fed fan. I believe in you. You're very smart.
So Nadal's not a lefty? That's crazy. I mean, just how proficient he is. It's insane.
Yeah.
Oregon says, I'm left-handed with everything. However, I play golf right-handed. Works for me. Are you any good? That's a good question right there. Are you any good? Senior Wake and Bake says, yeah, whatever happened to betting for fun? Yeah, betting for fun feels more lucrative. Well, and you're rich. You're rich in life and you don't lose any money. So, yeah, maybe you should stick with that.
Yeah.
Moist One's like, hey, I didn't make a stranger joke. All I said was it's hard. I've been trying to copy my wife's boyfriend's swing for a while, but I can't seem to get it right. I just assumed it was going to be a stranger joke. My bad. Wow. All right, guys, that is 2 hours down, and we got 40 minutes left to go because the race setup with Randy White is at 5:40. Come on back, kids. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
We all know that when we need service on our vehicles, having a trusted and reliable auto repair center is very important. Hi, I'm Stephen McCollum from the Main Event here on 1580 The Fanatic. And that's why I have all my vehicles serviced and repaired at Friendly Auto Centers in Mesa. Steve, the owner, and his team are experts in auto repair in a non-intimidating environment. Friendly Auto Center is a AAA approved auto repair center and awarded Top Shop winner. Family owned, with 19 service bays to get you back on the road fast with reliable repairs, backed by an exceptional warranty. Friendly Auto Centers offer a full range of routine auto services, as well as general repairs on any make or model passenger vehicle, RVs, and large trucks. Friendly Auto Centers are located at 5026 East Main Street in Mesa. Give them a call, 480-830-9377. That's 480-830-9377. Find them online at friendlyautocenters.com. Tell them Big Steve sent you.
'Twas the season of cheer and joy filled the town, except for Scrooge with his perma frown. The gift of a Peloton bike touched his soul without doubt.
Work, Peloton.
When your workout's a joy, it's a joy to work out.
You can do it.
The original Peloton bike is our best price ever, $39 a month. Or access membership separate. Terms apply. See website for details.
Think you know about meth? Think again. Today's methamphetamine is far more potent, more addictive, and more deadly than ever before. Today's meth is often laced with the deadly drug fentanyl. In fact, deaths from meth use have doubled in Arizona. What can you do? Get the facts at thenewmeth.com and know there's hope and resources for recovery. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Market Wrap host Mo Ansari talks about the dangers of emotional investing.
There's two things that people sell. One is greed and one is fear. Whenever you buy either one of those, you're going to end up getting burned because they are the epitome of emotions. And you've heard me say, whenever emotions take over, you're in trouble. If you don't want that to happen to you, give us a call. We'll be more than happy to do an objective evaluation of your portfolio to find the right degree of risk, what you have in your portfolio, what you should have, depending on your age, depending on your emotional makeup, depending on your financial makeup, depending on what your objectives are. All of those things go in to determine the correct balance of portfolio. We'll do that for you. It is free. You have to at least get started.
If you're ready to get started, call pound 250 and say talk to Mo, or go to compact.com and click on the Get Started button. That's COMPAK.com.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA, SIPC.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM. And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside my heterosexual life partner, Randy White. Got Keon Rose pushing the buttons, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. Yeah, at the end of the last hour, we were talking about this revelation that if you learn how to golf opposite-handed, if you're right-handed, you try to golf left-handed, it might actually improve your game. It's fascinating to find out some people do it. Horgons says he does it, and I said, "Are you any good?" He says, "No, I barely break 100." Okay, well, I can do that right-handed.
I
Sway
don't
Dave.
know how good my dad was. I think he was pretty decent, but he did it left-handed too, and he was right-handed. So
golf,
yeah,
okay, yeah,
specifically
Swa-
golf.
Okay, just want to make sure. Sway Dave says, "I'd give my right arm to be ambidextrous."
Oh boy. Oh boy, here they
Come
come.
on, that's funny. No, that's funny. That is
It's
a funny
Friday.
line. I
It's
like
5
that line.
o'clock, and here they come. Here they come.
Well, that was a good line. I'd give my right
Listen,
arm to be ambidextrous.
It
That's
may
good.
be a great line, but here they come. The odd, the off color, the weird. It's
What?
Friday here on the Daily Planet,
Good.
the fourth dimension.
I
Are
encourage it.
all- They're all gunged up and ready to go. And they got all, Friday, and they're getting off work now. Here they come. Here they come.
I think you're just worried that they're going to turn into Kyler Murray jokes.
Yep.
But
Yep.
that wasn't
That's
what that
happened.
was.
Yep.
That was a
Yep.
left-handed art. Right now, you've just brought it on. Come
Yeah,
on, man.
uh-huh. No, I haven't brought anything on. I told you,
That's-
I predicted this. If I could, I would put odds on this and take bets on it because I know they're going to happen.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I just thought it was a clever line. Now, I don't know
I
if it's
thought so,
original or
too.
not, but I give my right arm to be ambidextrous. That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. That's fine.
Big George says, I'm pretty sure if you go someplace and tell them, okay, I'm not reading that. Let's see.
See?
No, it has nothing to do with what you think. Big Stanky says, Jeffrey, last night's game is my fault. I did several parlays for the game, expecting a high scoring affair, and the football gods were like, oh,
Yeah.
no, you will not win, Big Stanky. Yeah,
No.
well, I don't blame you. It's like blaming somebody who just washed their car for a rainstorm. It just seems that way. Radio Ron says, why is Randy so short-tempered? It's Friday.
And there
Are
it
you
is.
really going to
I
blow the
hope-
whistle
yes.
on the owner of the radio station?
Yeah, I reserve the right to whistle anybody that comes in here with short
Wow.
jokes. And here we go. Radio Ron starting them up. I told you, Jeff Go. Even
Yeah, well-
Radio Ron is not
Yeah.
above it. Now I need to
Sure.
whistle myself
Yeah.
because I just put a short joke in.
Yeah, see, and you know, Radio Ron, he has a long memory, so good luck at contract negotiation time. Stray Striper says, Randy, what's wrong with off-color jokes or comments? Please tell us what color you'd like these to be in. Well, that was really bad.
I should whistle
That
him
was-
just for a bad joke.
That was punny. Yeah, you should whistle him. There you go. Yeah.
That was a bad joke.
Boogie says, I lost my in-game Pearly last night too. I was expecting a much higher scoring you. Boogie is really drunk right now. Boogie,
It must
well,
be the
there's the
Lions.
dog for you. King of Kitten says, I use my left hand, but I'm not left-handed. Was that? Okay.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. Fish Tank says that meth commercial you guys air cracks me up. They make it sound like it wasn't that bad to be doing meth in the 90s, but now, it's really dangerous in the year 2021.
That is true.
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't like me to talk about a lot of commercials in the station.
Modern day meth is really dangerous.
You know, I'm fairly sure
This
my
was likely stuff
my smart assery and commentary on commercials is not welcome by Radio Ron. So
I
I'm just
thought
gonna
about it before that.
I'm just gonna step out of this, and I have a contract negotiation coming. Our commercials are great. Royale and Cheese says, "Happy Friday, gentlemen. Aaron Rodgers is a douche. That is all. That is correct.
We need some sort of douche alert. We need like a siren or something for
You know
some
what we
sort
need
of a
is-
douche alert.
You know, you don't need a siren. What you do is you go get that clip of like, Mom, do you ever get that not so fresh feeling? That's the douche alert.
All right, I'll see.
I
Let
mean,
me write
because
that
what
down.
else? What else are mom and daughter? This is back in the 70s or 80s. Mom and daughter walking down the beach. Mom, do you ever get that not so fresh feeling? Well, yeah, of course, darling. Your dad is a filthy pig. I mean, it's just. So you got to find that audio and work that out with maybe some like little sirens. Mom, you ever get that not so? Yeah, you can do that. That's awesome.
This is a douche alert.
All right. Hefty Lefty says, you think
Oh boy.
I don't really know what to do with that comment.
Oh.
Big George says, anyways, how about them Coyotes? Oh, they're playing the Blackhawks tonight at 6:30 p.m. in Chicago. You think they're going to win, Randy? Easy. Hold on.
Next question.
Guys, yeah, conference, show members only conference, fourth dimension. You wait over there. Hey, guys, remember yesterday when we thought there's no way in hell that the Dolphins would beat the Ravens? And we laughed and laughed and laughed. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that about the Coyotes trying to beat the Blackhawks because anything is possible. That's what last night taught us.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're going to win.
This is
the Chicago Blackhawks.
They scored 2 whole goals the other day. 2. So,
but our goaltending sucks.
And the Blackhawks are really good at scoring.
Yeah.
Damn it. All right. So can we make fun of the Coyotes then?
At your own risk.
Fourth dimension's over there kind of looking at it. It's funny because we've been over here for a while. We better go back.
Probably should go
We better go back.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Big George. Good luck to the Coyotes. That's all we're going to say. Uklamak says, have you seen the video where it rained on just one car? Couldn't tell if it was real or not. The hell are you talking about? Where is this coming from?
Friday afternoon, 5:00.
Jagdog says, Randy, crown shots for every man, woman, and child in the fourth dimension that wants one. Whoa, time out. Not for the kids. No, the kids don't get shots and that want one on request. He says, happy hour has begun. What time is officially happy hour? I thought it was like 4. What time?
Sometimes
3,
it's
4?
like 2 until midnight. Sometimes it's like 8 a.m. in the morning until 8 a.m. the next morning. I mean, it varies. It varies from establishment to establishment.
Yeah, well, on the Daily Blender, happy hour starts at 3 p.m. even.
Yeah.
That's when happy hour starts.
There we go.
Hefty Lefty says, I got $1 on the Coyotes to win. I figure I could deduct it as a charity donation.
Could be. Yeah.
Tiger Paw says, okay, I grew up doing my homework to the Blackhawks. They were my team forever, and they're still my number 2 team, but they're in the bottom of the cellar along with the Coyotes. This is one of your 2 crap teams playing together, make a good game situation.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Tiger Paws is saying the Blackhawks is bad. But Keon, I thought you were saying that they were good
at scoring.
Yeah.
Their goaltending also stinks.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on right now?
So the Coyotes. So when they score a goal,
the soul of the Coyotes is bleeding through the Daily Blender right now.
That's what it is right there. That's when they score a goal. And I'm trying to put all the good juju out there for my Arizona Coyotes. Come on, let's go, Coyotes. Let's go.
Papa Mike says, I don't want a shot, Randy. Give me the entire bottle. Yeah, he's hitting it hard, I guess.
Wow.
Moist One says Blackhawks are pretty bad, but 2-0 since they got their new coach. Oh, I didn't know that even happened. Happy Lefty says 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. is happy hour at most strip clubs. Dude, how do you know that?
I wouldn't know that.
He is single, I guess. Uklamak says happy hour is just any time after 9 a.m. Here's what happy hour is for me on Sundays. The minute the Colts start to struggle, that is happy hour. And it was rough that happy hour is at 10:30, and I'm like, is my wife going to worry about me if I crack open a beer at 10:30 in the morning?
See, here's the thing. Dustin Johnson, one of the top golfers in the world, he held number 1 for a long time. Hell, he might still be number 1. I don't know. Maybe John Rahm is. But Dustin Johnson will be on the course, and he likes to partake of the just a pinch between your cheek and gum. But he only takes one when he makes his first bogey. When he makes his first bogey, that's when the dip goes in. That reminds me of you, Jeffco. When the Colts start struggling, pow! They open up the alcohol and make the pain go away.
Guinness. Yeah. So think of me when you see the Colts start to struggle, and you'll know I'm already half a glass deep in my Guinness by then. A pinch between your cheek and gum. I saw this thing where the guy who played Sherlock, Benedict Cumberbatch or whatever his name is. It turns out he's in this new Western. And I don't know what the hell's wrong with actors. He's like, they have these special cigarettes you can smoke that they're not real cigarettes. They're just like these herbs that makes it look like smoke, and you breathe it in. It doesn't hurt you. And then, in moderation, and but he says, no, he was rolling up actual tobacco cigarettes, authentic ones from the Old West. And he's like, he got nicotine poisoning like 3 different times.
Oh boy.
And he said he wouldn't bathe because he wanted you to really smell him. You know, he wanted that to come through
The
with
hell?
the character. And I was just like, that's just too much.
There's
Too
special
much.
effects artists for all of those things.
Yeah, yeah.
Not one of those things that he did is necessary. And he's a good
Mm.
actor, but that's
Oh, yeah.
not necessary at all.
That is some crazy method acting kind of stuff. I mean, when you played Smog the Dragon in The Hobbit, where you go around like breathing fire on people in the subway,
Well, isn't that
just
like
too much method.
Who was that guy? He played Ice Cube on the Maverick there on the Top Gun. What was
Oh,
his
yeah,
name?
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer. That he was
Yeah.
like that. He would get into his character and never get out of it during
Yeah.
a shoot. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it was lucky for him that his last character had throat cancer. So that worked
Yeah.
out nicely for him.
Well, there was that.
888-368-1580. Big Stanky says, Randy, go Cardinals.
Yes, indeed.
Fed Fan says, some of my family members have never stopped having a happy hour. Yeah, well, those are called alcoholics, but God bless you. Ukalamak says, my wife wonders about me if I haven't opened a beer by 10 a.m. Well, okay, that means you're an alcoholic. Big George says, well, that's why I asked the question. I think the Coyotes actually do have a legitimate chance of winning tonight. I hope so, man. I hope so. It'd be nice to see a
Yeah.
W in their column.
Yeah.
Hurt so bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk some NFL, shall we? Because we're running out of show. We only get 40 minutes in this hour. So let's talk about this. OBJ, they released the terms of his employment with the Los Angeles Rams. A lot of that is incentive based. And he's going to get $1.25 million in base pay. And the incentives, though, aren't necessarily personal incentives. Those are team incentives. Did they underpay or did they overpay? How do you feel about what he's making for this, Keon?
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, Keon. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Randy.
I was just going to say, compared to what old granny dresser Cam Newton is making,
Right, 10 million.
Yeah, I would say that OBJ has the wrong agent. He has the wrong
You think
agent.
so?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah,
Keon, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that he's in a position where he could have probably made more money. He's joining this team to basically be a guy that's going to help them win a Super Bowl, put
He's
them
ring
over the
chasing.
top. Yeah,
And they know that.
and I guess that's probably killed his leverage. And we were wondering about that, right? Like, was he going to be delusional about how much money he could potentially make, and was that going to hinder his ability to go to a team? Clearly, the championship and being in a winning environment, you know, in his mind, is more important than the money he's going to make.
All right, so let me give you a little clarity here. He's taking less money now to make more money later. Here's what it is. His agent or his own thinking is that I'll go to LA, win a Super Bowl. Now my asking price for the Rams or for somebody else is going to be much higher. And I don't know what his net worth is now. I would imagine he's made quite a bit of money. So he may just be rolling the dice on himself, saying, okay, I'll take less money now to be on the team when they win the Super Bowl. I'll try to do my best to show how good I am. And then payday comes next year.
Yeah. And look, that's a move that has worked for guys in the past, but it's a very risky move. Jadeveon Clowney comes to mind for guys that have bet on themselves. Jadeveon Clowney, released from the Texans, he goes to the Titans. He played well, but the sack numbers weren't there. So he had to bet on himself again. And now he's with the Browns. And he's playing really well, but he's never been a high sack number guy. So the bet on yourself thing, he just keeps getting these one-year deals instead of the long-term big fat contract that he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And it may happen with OBJ where he may be an important factor on the team, but if he doesn't put up the numbers, especially coming in at this point in the season, it may be hard for him to turn around and parlay that into the kind of contract he wants.
So now with Odell Beckham Jr. joining up with the Rams, the Super Bowl odds didn't change at all. That is an interesting thing. You would think that they would because you think, wow, Odell Beckham Jr. on there. That's another target. That's another, tool for them to use. It's another weapon. It didn't even budge. It's still hanging in there. Last we checked it, plus 800 at most books. So why didn't he move the needle on this at all? Everybody else sees this and says, "Oh, here come the Rams. They're buying themselves a championship." And But why is Vegas sort of going meh on this?
Well, I think because Odell Beckham Jr., what has he really done since he left the Giants? I mean, everybody replays that one-handed catch against the Dallas Cowboys on that Monday night game, but nobody plays any other sort of highlights from Odell Beckham Jr. All the highlights you see are him kicking a kicking net or making love to a ball on the field or, writhing in pain after he hurt himself. There's no other highlights except for when he was with the Giants and he got that one-handed catch. I mean, to me, I don't think Odell Beckham Jr. is that big of a threat anymore. I certainly uber talented, but I think he's gotten his own way and he's caused all sorts of lost money by playing this diva sort of game that he's playing.
First Cav Mike says OBJ is OTH, over the hill.
And that would be why the needle didn't move. And I don't know if he's over the hill. I actually can't tell looking at his time in Cleveland because there are guys in this league that are phenomenal route runners. Like DeAndre Hopkins is a really damn good route runner.
Yeah.
Beckham, true. He's never been a great route runner. He's always been a guy that kind of freelances while he's out there. And it worked with Eli. Yeah. Eli could figure it out and go, okay, wherever he is, I'll find him. Baker's not that way. And so I don't know if people looked at his time in Cleveland and said, this is just what he is now. And it's hard to tell because he was such a bad fit with Baker if he's that bad or he just wasn't a good fit. And so the needle's not going to move until we figure out whether or not Odell Beckham is actually got anything left in the tank.
Papa Mike says OBJ's talent is nullified by the cancer he was spread in 4 weeks. Let's see. Something just moved on my screen here. Swave Dave says, Randy, sorry you don't like my ambidextrous joke. Didn't mean to start the Friday storm there. I really didn't. However, in my work league, I just traded CeeDee Lamb and Dalvin Cook to get Travis Kelce and yes, Kyler Murray. How about that?
Wow. Hey, good for you. And I appreciated your joke. I thought it was very funny, but I Swave Dave, I thought that was the what am I looking for? The waterfall of short jokes. I wasn't blaming you. I appreciate your joke. Enjoy Kyler Murray in your league. I hope he does everything you could ever want or imagine.
I hope your dreams come true.
Yeah.
Straight Striper says, shout out to all the parents listening to the Daily Blender with their kid in the passenger seat who wants to learn about sports. You guys are the beat. Okay, Straight Striper, about that. Not always, not always for the kid in the seat. You know what I'm saying? So just be ready. Just be ready on the volume. That's all I'm saying there. Yeah. I mean, how old? How old is the because you never know where we're gonna go with something on this show, so I always get a little bit my kids love your show. Really? Do they? Are you sure that's a good idea? So but thank you, Straight Striper, appreciate it. So we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we've got On This Date in Big George's sports history and more of the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. SimpleGreen.com.
NFL Sunday afternoon, the Cardinals at home against the Panthers. Arizona, a 10.5-point home favorite. The over-under 44. Cardinals are 8-1, 7-2 against the spread. NBA tonight, the Phoenix Suns traveling to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. Phoenix, a 1.5-point road underdog. The over-under 220.5. College football, Arizona at home against Utah tomorrow. The Wildcats looking for their second straight win. They are a 24.5-point underdog. The over-under 54. Elsewhere, Arizona State on the road facing Washington. The Sun Devils, a 6-point road favorite. The over-under 45.5. For vsin.com, I'm Trey Westerberg on Arizona's sports betting station.
When it comes to NASCAR, everything comes down to time. How fast can you get it done? Built, official partner and protein bar of NASCAR, is a tasty option when you're on the move. Hi, Randy here from the Race Setup. And if you have not tried a Built Bar, you are missing out. This protein bar does not taste like a protein bar. It tastes like a candy bar. Just grab a Built Bar when you want something fast and just so delicious. If you go to built.com to get yourself some Built Bars, use code Randy10. You'll get 10% off your order. Code Randy10 at built.com.
Hi, this is Bruce Jacobs from my friends and former employers at ProCopy. For over 20 years, ProCopy has provided Arizona companies with the best office equipment available from companies like Ricoh. More importantly, they provide outstanding service after the sale with a 96% retention ratio and award-winning technicians. 3 years ago, they joined the Flex Technologies Group, an Arizona-based nationwide group of companies that share ProCopy's commitment to excellence. So if you have branches anywhere in the United States or just here in Arizona, you can get great personalized service even during the current climate. We use them here at the Fanatic and Money Radio KFNN, and they never disappoint because they remain a local company. They give back to our community by supporting ASU and the Thunderbirds through the Phoenix Open. The ProCopy Foundations has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. That makes doing business with ProCopy good for your business. Just give them a call at 602 ProCopy. That's 602-776-2679.
Your college game on. Get ready for the fight songs. Get ready for the traditions. Get ready for the rivalries. It's college football.
He's gone. There he goes. Through the line. He'll take it to the house, 90 yards.
And we've got the games you want to hear.
College football lives on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic, Arizona's new home for sports.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, the Fanatic, Arizona sports betting station. And yes, tonight we got a lot going on here at this radio station and our sister station, Money Radio 1510. So here's what the deal is. The AIA High School Football Game of the Week, 7:30 p.m. on Money Radio, and that is Horizon playing at Notre Dame Prep. Over here on 1580 The Fanatic at 6:45 p.m., the broadcast starts for GCU taking on North Florida State. So that all happens here on the CRC broadcasting stations tonight. All right, everybody. There's a lot going on here, and there is some things, I guess, that do need to be clarified. Boogie saying that, well, every hour is happy hour if you want it to be. And by the way, Jeffrey, you're only an alcoholic if you go to the meetings. And I think you're right. I think that's true. Yeah, and Big Stanky clarifies if they don't go to meetings, they're just drunkards. So, okay, good to know. Good to know.
Good point. Yeah.
What if you're going to a meeting of a bunch of people drinking? You know what I'm saying?
Then it's a party.
That's just a party. There you go. That's it.
Yeah,
you are correct. Nicely done, Randy.
Thank you.
Big Stanky also says, I think OBJ hurts a team more than helps it. I feel adding him actually hurts their odds.
We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, but that's a good take there. That's another bell right there. Yeah, it's a good point.
Fed Fan says, if I remember right, Straight Striper has a daughter, so you better watch what you say, boys. What do you mean? We're nothing but supportive of women. I know that occasionally there's little jokes here and there, but in general, very supportive of women athletes and women in general. We are gentlemen here. Sometimes I get in a little trouble with Fed Fan, but it's not like that. Good Cat says, my 6-year-old listens to the show with me. He doesn't enjoy it. He doesn't. Okay. Yeah, he says that Randy and Jeffrey say too many potty words.
It's almost like the show's not made for him at all.
I do apologize for the potty words. I'm sorry.
Tell him we're sorry he doesn't enjoy it. And do you think we could ever do a kid-friendly version of the Daily Blender?
Hell no. Are you kidding me? Come on, man.
Clack. All right. Hey, everybody. It's time for the Daily Blender. Whee!
Come on.
Yeah. I mean, you'd keep that up for about 2 minutes and you'd start to annoy yourself.
2 minutes? Are you kidding? 20 seconds max.
Hold on, kids. Seconds. Time for me to smoke a crack rock because it's the only way I'm going to make it.
See? There you go.
I don't even know what it really looks like, but you're right. It automatically, I feel like I'm going to need that.
Yeah.
Good Cat says, sorry. I meant to say he does enjoy it. My voice to text messed that up.
All right. Well, that's good.
Okay.
Actually, it's probably more dangerous that he does enjoy it.
He's gonna be an interesting kid when he grows up. I'll tell you that.
Bruno Baller says, and I think there's going to be some soon parent teacher conferences that'll be interesting too.
All right.
I'll be invited. Randy will be invited. We'll have to explain some things. Bruno Baller says, "Hey Randy, was that bar called O'Malley's where they met? Where who met? What are you talking about?"
I think I understand what he's saying.
Bruno Baller, you bastard.
Yeah.
Is that actually in the song?
It's a line in the song. At
I went to go meet my side piece that I'm cheating on my wife with the O'Malley's.
At O'Malley's. Yeah.
I don't remember that being in there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ookla says calling softball players thunder thighs. That is not a little joke, Jeffrey. I wasn't joking. I was just observing that girl had giant thighs. Come on. Royale Cheese says, I got my 10-year-old son laughing his ass off on account of the clown voice just now. So that was good. Unintended benefit, I guess. Hefty Lefty says, Chris Carson officially out this weekend for the Seattle Sea Loons. Wilson officially activated, though. That's good to know. That is. Am I on? Am I still on?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because I figured it was either Randy went off or I went off. Randy's equipment just failed on him there. That's a bummer. Moist One says, Slave Dave, you're getting fleeced in that trade, by the way. You shouldn't have done it. The trade for Kelsey and Kyler Murray, really? 888-368-1580. Yeah, Moist One, fill us in. By the way, Moist One, sometimes I miss some of his texts, and sometimes he actually texts in legit things. And he says, I respect the hell out of Dustin Johnson. He's avenged a lot of goalies by going 5-hole on Gretzky's daughter. Wait, that's not a real thing. I thought it was a real thing because he showed me a graphic where the 5-hole is on a hockey goalie. Well, now I see that was just dirty.
He used a little misdirection to sneak the actual dirt in there.
When am I going to learn? Damn you, Moist One! Oh, crap. Kids in the car. Darn you, Moist One! Killer Rabbit says, okay, I was driving, talking to you guys like you could hear me. Recap, I play the guitar and kick left-handed, everything else right-handed. I stress stranger danger to my kids, and now I have to explain why the stranger is good. Randy, he's poured me a beer. Well, since Randy can't, Keon, can you take care of Killer Rabbit on his beer right there? Because Randy's still trying to figure out his equipment there. Mars Bars 805 says, happy Faded Friday, guys, and go Raiders. 805, please. Have a great weekend. Great show, guys. I'm ready for Randy's show next, too. And by the way, go ahead and hit Randy off on the mix minus bridge there for me, please. I'm getting a tremendous echo. All right. So I guess we should just go ahead if we're ready. Go ahead and take care of Big George. Are you back, Randy? I think Randy's back. There he is.
I'm back.
Everything okay? Everything okay?
Everything's fine. Yeah.
You have to stop spilling beer on that thing.
Well, I think FedFan shut me off the air. I think it's what it was.
If she had the ability, I'm going to tell you it'll be mine that she takes off the air, not yours. I don't think you have anything to fear. Are we ready?
I am. Yes, sir.
All right, let's do this thing. It's time now, ladies and gentlemen, for On This Day in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1892, William Pudge Heffelfinger, a 3-time All-American guard from Yale University, became the first professional football player when he was paid $500 by the Allegheny Athletic Association to play for its team against rival Pittsburgh Athletic Club. He scored the game-winning touchdown on a fumble recovery. Back to me, Jeffrey. That's right, 1892. I wonder how much. Hey, Keon, can you check that? How much is $500 in 1892 worth in today money? I'm curious. I'm sure he was still hosed on the deal compared to today's money. But yeah, if we could check inflation, $500 in 1892 would buy you how much in today's money? That usually pops right up on the Google right there. Yeah. But
you say his last name was Heffelfinger?
Yes, William Pudge Heffelfinger. Hey, Pudge. What do you say? $500?
Okay. $500 in 2021 money would be $15,000 $197.20.
Wow.
Good for Pudge.
Yeah. How about that
Pudge
Heffelfinger
was raking
now?
it in.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He was raking it in. All right.
And here's what
Hey.
we're going to do. We're going to give you the Heffelfinger. That's right.
Ooh.
Sounds dirty.
Hey, honey, you know
If
what
by
they
the
call me?
Heffelfinger you mean 15 grand,
They call me Pudge.
Ooh.
Got the pudgy Heffelfinger right there. Mm. Yep. So now let's explain that to the 6-year-old.
Well, it's just a guy named William Pudge Heffelfinger. What's there to explain? It's just a guy's name.
You have to at least appreciate that most kids aren't really understanding a dang thing that's happening on this show.
William Pudge Heffelfinger.
Deflated Balls.
That's his pickup line. That's just his name. He just says it.
Deflated Balls says, come on, 1892. Isn't that old timey? Why do you guys want me to do on this day in history old timey style? I really did think it was annoying people. I'm not doing it, Randy. I'm not doing that today. But I'll tell you what, we need to decide the line that is on this date.
Well,
and then
1892. Come on, man.
Old timey. No, but where is the line? And I'll start to respect that.
I would say 1892 would be old timey.
So at 1893 is regular?
No.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Where is
I would
the
say
line?
1960s and above would be
No.
normal.
No.
Anything
Old
below-
timey. I think
below
1930. 1930, 1940, maybe.
30 would be today's? I mean, think about it.
Old-timey.
Hey,
If you're
hey,
playing that piano, it ain't the 40s.
back in 1930, that doesn't
Yeah.
sound right. Back in 1930, so,
All right,
you see what I'm saying?
1930,
Okay, the
though.
1940 is the cutoff. 1940, anything 40 and above is just history.
I want to
Anything
hear more
40 and
about
below,
Pudge Heffelfinger.
old timey. Yeah, we need to look up Pudge Heffelfinger. I'm kind of curious how his life went too. I need to see a picture of Pudge. Oh crap! I just lost all the papers for the show. It just fell right off my counter here. Deflated Balls says pre-World War II would be old timey. Okay, yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'll say 1940. I'll even give you that much.
40 is before World War II. Come on.
I know that's what I'm saying. So that's even better. So 40 is the line. Is that good?
40 is the line. No, it's got to be 50. It's got to be 50.
Ukla says, good thing Heffelfinger's first name wasn't Richard.
Ooh.
Hello, I'm Dick Pudge Heffelfinger. What's that?
Full name, by the way, is
Here's the
William
restaurant.
Walter.
We got a table for Dick Heffelfinger. Table for Dick Heffelfinger. What's that?
It just sounds like
Is there a Pudgy Dick Heffelfinger? What? Oh, Pudge. Pudge. Is there a Pudge? Where the hell is Dick Heffelfinger?
just sounds like something Bart Simpson would call into Moe's bar.
Yeah. Hey, Jerry, Dick Heffelfinger. Oh, you bastard. King of Kitten says, I love the old timey sports history. Yeah. Big Stanky says, Jeffrey, did you ever get that free lunch from Bruce? No, not yet. We don't run into each other that often, so I'm sure we'll set something up. I seriously expected to come in and find a Lunchable sitting on my desk, and I would have been okay with that. Singer Wake and Bake says, Jeffrey, Keon, Randy, can you hear the boom coming from the smoke-filled room? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
I don't follow.
Does it have anything to do with Pudge?
Should we Google this or not? I think maybe we shouldn't
don't
Google
think
it.
so.
I'm not Googling. You use your phone. I'm not doing it. Big George says the previous cutoff was 1959. Anything newer than 60 was regular. But hey, whatever you want the cutoff to be, Jeffrey, is fine with me.
59
Good
was the
man.
cutoff for
Yeah.
old timey.
Well, that's just Big George. Now I'm saying 1940. So I will.
You're saying
cue you-
1940? Oh my God, we're in like
1940.
2021.
I'm very
It's gotta
old,
be
Randy,
like-
and I don't need reminders of it. 1940 is only 30 years before I was born. Okay. No,
It's just the saloon piano. No one was playing
Right.
that in 1940.
Yeah, well, nobody was playing it in 1930 either.
That's what I'm saying. I tend to agree with Jeffrey on this.
Old timey.
Are you saying in 1940 is not old timey?
1920 should be old timey, actually. Now, Keon, you're right. Thank you. So evidently, Dick Pudge Heffelfinger married Grace Harriet Pierce in 1901. They remained married until his death in 1954. After his official coaching career ended, Heffelfinger immersed himself in the business world in Minneapolis. Wow. The only thing interesting about him is his name. I'm not going to read the rest of it. It's so bad. It's just bored the hell out of everybody. Yeah. Killer Rabbit says the founder of Hertz Rental Cars, his name was Richard Hertz. Maybe Dick Hertz. No, now he says, okay, I'm lying. Oh, come on, man.
That has to be real. You can't do that. You cannot spring that on people and have it be a fake.
I was about to give all my business to Dick Hertz. I seriously was like, honey, anytime we go anywhere, we're getting a Hertz rental car.
Because that man's earned it. If your name is Richard Hertz and you made it to adulthood, you have survived some high-level bullying.
What's your name?
Stop.
My name is Dick Hertz.
Very nice. Oh, jeez. Can we please stop?
You sure you don't want to go by Richard? Nope. Hitting the Nut says, before the moving pictures with sound should be the cutoff. And I Googled it. That was 1927. Okay. All right. So now we've changed it. It is now old timey is 1930 or before. Anything after 1930 is just on this day in history.
So then you have
That's
to read
official.
it again because this was like 1892.
I'm not doing it again. No, I'm not doing it again, Randy. This point forward, old
I
timey
wanna
is
hear more about
1930 and before.
Pudge Heffelfinger.
There is nothing else left to care about. Oh, here I got
you
something.
just want to keep saying his name. Is really what it is.
All right, here we go. Go ahead. During Prohibition, Heffelfinger ran twice as a wet in the Republican primary. Yes, he was wet. He was in the primary for Minnesota's 5th Congressional District, losing both times to Prohibitionist and former Lieutenant Governor William I. Nolan.
Very nice.
The hell's a wet Republican? There's not many wet. I'll tell you what.
Wet Pudge Heffelfinger is what it is.
Not a lot of their women are. I'll tell you that right now. Not in that party.
2 minutes left in the show, everybody. 2 minutes.
I'll bite, Big George. What is wet in the Republican primary? I'm sure it's a political term. Oh, rest in peace, Dick Pudge Heffelfinger. Rest in peace.
The way this show's disintegrated, I'm willing to bet it's not a political term at all.
He's got it right here in quotation, so I trust it's a thing.
Hell to the no, no. Hell, no.
So about the race setup with Randy White coming up in just about a minute.
We're not talking about Dick Heffelfinger.
I just want to turn it over to you to promote that. Well, this might be the last edition of the Daily Blender, and this is going to be the last edition of the race setup for a while. So you may as well plug it now while you can.
Oh, Lord. We'll recap the 2021 season. And we will get you set up for 2022. Lots of changes coming. Chief and I will be here in about a minute or so.
Well, a few minutes. I think we have a commercial break here at the end.
Woo!
I thought the music should be started up by now. Is it ready? Is it going?
It's not. I have it ready to go.
To keep talking. Here, let me kill some time.
Definitely a Friday. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. That's weird. My clock in here we're showing different time. We actually have a couple more minutes to talk.
Boy.
Big George says Here's what wet means. All right, if you have kids in the car. He says, no, that he was all for repealing prohibition. Wet meant he wanted to have alcohol legalized again.
Oh, he's good, man. He's good, man.
That's not what that song I heard means. Or is it? Is that what she's singing about?
That's not, nope. That's not what she's
The
singing about.
WAP is not a Republican thing?
It's not.
I
not.
guarantee you it's not. Fed Texan, why do I listen to this show?
I don't even have an answer for you this time.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, hey, Heffelfinger's picture just showed up. Slow-mo Zoe sends it over and he says, that's a Yale man right there. He looks like a Pudge. I'll give you that. And for the record, this is a only from the chest up picture. So I can't answer the rest of your question. There's nothing else I can give you anymore.
They call me Pudge.
Yeah. That's his line right there. All right, guys, have a great weekend. We will see you Monday, maybe, at 3 p.m. Coming up next, it's the season finale of the race setup here on 1580 The Fanatic. Have a good night.